You're looking live at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway, America's home for racing. The site this weekend for the NASCAR playoffs in the Roval. But tonight, it's 400 miles, 280 laps, as the Barnes Paving 400 is the next round for the No Limit Racing Pro Series on this Monday evening on your home for Race Sim Racing, LSR TV. Good evening. Live in the broadcast booth in Durham, North Carolina, I am Wesley Outland up in Washington State. It is Mr. Greg Rentz. Good to be back with you again, Greg, working with you. And as always, on production in Texas, Mr. Charles Wooten. Tonight, Charlotte, ready to go. This should be a great night of racing, Greg. Charlotte is always a unique racetrack. What's your thoughts as we get ready to wrap up practice?
A historic venue and a long race tonight. 280 laps, 400 miles. You see right there, there's your race stats. They're wrapping up their practice. We're going to have 2 laps of qualifying up soon. And then the 280 lap race here tonight. That's your Race on Texas race information here for this one from Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Wesley, like you said, a historic venue, America's home for racing. This is NASCAR's backyard right here. This is the home track for NASCAR when they come here. They're going here this weekend for some Roval racing, but tonight we are playing with No Limits Racing, 280 laps. It's going to be a wild one here tonight.
It'll be a fun time. Let's take a look at the weather conditions as we get ready for the green flag to drop here in qualifying in just a moment. 77 degrees on a fall night in October virtually on the iRacing simulator. 2-mile-per-hour wind, partly cloudy skies. Track temp about 2 degrees warmer than the ambient temperature. I find that a little abnormal, Greg. I figured it was be around 100 degrees, but that's not the case right now.
Nice cool night for it here tonight in Charlotte. So that means, Wesley, that the track is going to have more grip perhaps than some of these drivers were expecting with the cooler track temp, with the cooler air temp. Track's going to be a lot grippier. So with that being said, watch for some drivers to possibly be making some changes to their driving styles to make sure that the setup works their way that they need it to, because they may have been anticipating a hotter racing surface, so a looser car throughout the course of the race.
And by the way, you and I both know as well that when it's cool outside, these engines are going to purr at full capacity virtually tonight.
Absolutely, Wesley. Going to be an awesome sight when these engines are roaring around. 280 laps here at Charlotte. It's going to be a long one here. You're here for it on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. Good to be back here in the booth. It's been about a week since I've been here with you, Wesley, so glad to be back.
The Barnes Paving and Trucking 400 getting ready to get underway. Let's take a look at the point standings as we move into the next round of the races here tonight at Charlotte. Okay, he doesn't have the overlay for it. I'll take care of it. The point standings real quickly as we move into this race here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Looking at your point standings real quickly for the drivers of the Pro Series, as again they are rocking and rolling the series standings right now for tonight's Barnes Paving and Trucking 400. Of course, coming off of that big win at his home track last Monday night at Bristol. The man still continuing to lead the point standings. The driver Matt Lovett picking up his 3rd win at Bristol last week. He leads the way, 14 back to Brian Wirtz, 33 back to Talladega winner Matt Cherry. Anthony Thitchner, 39 back, 60 points back is Hank Caston in the top 5. Brandon Frontapple, Alec Coates, Casey Knighton, Isaac Mock, Casey Gilchrist. Right now your top 10 as it stands in the points. When we return, we qualify here from Charlotte for the Barnes Paving 400, the next round of the No Limit Pro Series from Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is LSR TV, your home for sim racing. Back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the lights are on. The stars are ready to come out for the No Limit Racing Pro Series as again qualifying about to get underway for the drivers here and ready to kick things off. It's going to be the driver of that car, number 82. He'll be the first man on track. That is Wirtz. He's currently in the top 10 of the points. Brian Wirtz. How about this, Greg? I don't know if you've been here since you've seen what Charles has updated. The timing and scoring. Look at this, 43.475. And now in real time, we'll follow him another lap around the clock, around Charlotte Motor Speedway.
So keep your eye on Wirtz. You're trying to set the bar as everyone's out there for their first lap. Down into turn number 3. And Wesley, going into this turn number 3, a little bit different than turn 1. You got to check up just a little bit more going into turn 3 and 4 than you would in turn number 1, because the turn just a hair tighter than turns 1 and 2. You're able to carry a little bit more speed as Wirtz goes to 29.057. You're able to carry just a little bit more speed through this corner he's in right now, but as he shoots down into turn number 3, watch for him to let off the throttle just a little bit more than he did going through 1 and 2.
We'll see these drivers working their way around the racetrack right now as qualifying is on course for Fitchner, currently the top man. Brian Wirtz wrapping up his second lap. 29.057 will be the best lap. 20. And now we have Brett Edwards on the speedway, the Racing Electronics entry number 53. We'll see his time coming up on the board here in just a moment as the drivers are on the clock preparing for the Barnes Paving and Trucking. Brett Edwards again out of Hughes Sports, the Racing Electronics entry out of Concord, North Carolina. We saw a hometown driver in Lovett win at Bristol. He could win here at his home track at Charlotte.
We'll see. Can the home track fans continue for this one? Right now it's Edward Jurgen at the top of the board with Josh Mayu, Fronapple, Lotuson, and Coates, your top 5 right now as the drivers continue to click their times. And 23 drivers have set a time thus far. One driver just now entered the race, Trent Barnes, number 1. He's getting the car unloaded off the hauler through tech and trying to get it out as quickly as possible, as now 24 have taken time. Still Jurgen at the top of the board right now, Wesley.
It certainly is, as right now Jurgen. Watching Brett Edwards still make his way around the speedway, but again, Jurgen right now, the man that everybody is gunning for here at Charlotte in qualifying early. We'll see what Jurgen can do. Ed Jurgen for JEK Racing, 49 years old, out of Mullica Hill, New Jersey, sponsored by Gatorade of that number 92 car. And currently he is the man at the top of the board. Brett Edwards finishing up with his qualifying lap, 29.098, best lap of speed. Put him in that 55 car in 16th on the board. Notice how the numbers light up on the scoring pylon. That helps you a better idea of keeping an idea of where the cars are at. As Josh Klinger is now on the speedway in the car number 17. Josh Klinger again ready to go. And we'll see what he can do. Josh Klinger in the Oceanside Cleaners Racing entry, also out of the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, sponsored by where I reside, Duke University in Durham. The Duke Blue Devils is his sponsor. We'll see what that 19-year-old can do here, Greg, as he's the next man on the clock.
But the new fast time right now, Wesley, Hank Caston has gone to the top. He's the first one to hit a 28.8 lap time, 28.862 for Caston. So he's looking to lead the field to the green. 27 cars have taken time, and Trent Barnes looks like he has withdrawn from the race after not getting through tech in time. Couple cars left to go, and only one of those drivers left is rolling out on the track right now, Steven Evasius in the 12. But Wesley, there's only 40 seconds left. I don't think he's going to get a lap in.
Yeah, he's got to work hard and hustle to be able to try to put that lap on the board as time is running out. Here he comes down the straightaway. What can he get done here? I think he's, whoa, it's going to be close.
I don't think he's got enough time because he's got to get around a full lap after getting to the stripe this time, and he's only got 17 seconds before time expires. He's not going to make it.
And that's a heartbreak, too, that the time is going to expire for him there.
And that's going to...
Ooh, he just missed it. Oh, man, understanding that was his warm-up lap, so no, his time's not going to count for the good wrench number 12 of Steve Evasius. So qualifying has officially wrapped up. And again, What a great job for these drivers now getting into position just like they do every time at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Lining them up cattywampus on the front straightaway for the All-Star race, the 600. And even for this Sunday for the Bank of America Roval 400, they'll have the field as well. And the field assembled on the front stretch, ready to roll. Again, the distance, 280 laps, 400 miles in the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400. Let's give you your starting lineup right here for the next round of the No Limit Racing Pro Series on LSR TV. Row 1, Hank Caston, fast qualifier, then 36 machine to his outside, car number 92, Edward Jurgen.
It'll be Josh Mayu in the 0-2 with Brandon Frontapple making up row number 2.
Row number 3 is going to find Brian Curry in the 25 and Sean Lottison in the number 24.
Alec Coates in the number 10 with Talladega winner Matt Cherry in the Jimmy Johnson tribute. He rolls off 8th.
Row number 5, Casey Knighton in the 84 machine and Anthony Fitchner. You see what he looks like, the man behind the car, 87. He'll start 10th.
You'll find Cody Cox in the 11th spot with Matt Lovett, last week's winner at Bristol. He rolls off 12th.
Row number 7, Casey Gilchrist in the 26 machine to his outside, Brian Wirtz in the 82.
You'll find Michael Wooley rolling off 15th in the 13. Isaac Mock qualifies in 16th in the 95.
Starting in 17th position, David DeFazio, the 99, and 18th, the 55. Brett Edwards for Racing Electronics. He's the top 18 starters.
Josh Klinger and Jake Fluman, excuse me.
Fluman, yeah.
Misread that. Jake Fluman will start on the 20th position, rounding out the top 20.
Starting 21st, inside row 11, Ryan Hedrick of the 9 car. To the outside, Matt Jorgensen in car number 51. As the field begins to roll off of the parade laps behind the toe of the pace car, we move on to row number 12.
And row number 12 consists of Evan Keith in the number 46, Ben Carver in car number 28.
Row number 13 will find Art Moline in the 15 machine and Casey Clark Jr. in the 39.
Final car to take qualifying time was Jake Elrod in the number 27. No sign of Trent Barnes as he's out of the session, so Steven Evasius will inherit the 28th position.
Kyle Ramsey also was attempted to be in the race. He was not able to start. It looks like we have a total of 29 drivers. Also, Steven Evasius, Kyle Ramsey, Jason Wiley, Ryan Dipple, I believe, is race control for the officials of the No Limit Racing Pro Series, and that is the lineup. A good field of cars, 30+, ready to come to the Geico restart zone and take the green flag. This time by when the pace truck drops onto pit road. Greg, this should be an exciting race here. We're coming to a start this time by.
An exciting race and a long race, Wesley. 280 laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Buckle up and get yourself some popcorn and a soda because it is going to be a long one here at America's Home for Racing. You're watching it on America's Home for Sim Racing, LSR TV.
The big boys will be in action on Sunday for the Roval. The virtual boys of the No Limit Racing Series come to the green flag. We're kicking the asphalt and underway here at Charlotte. The thundering herd roars their way with the roar of the crowd and the flash bulbs popping in the stands virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a race. You'll hear Ken Squire say that on Sunday. I'll say it tonight. Gaston, the early leader. Mayu, Frontapple, Curry, Jurgen, the top 5, and they roar to 3 in the early going, Greg.
Top 3 single file. First side-by-side battle is for 4th between Jurgen and Curry. Jurgen 92, Curry 25, battling it out for 4th position as they try to make their way up. Alex Alec Coates has also now gotten around Jurgen. Jurgen, who started in the second spot, already in danger now of beginning to fall out of the top 10 as he has fallen back all the way to 7th. And Matt Cherry is going to try to get him for 8th here.
Working their way to turn number 3, cast it out in front. Front Apple now trying to get some redemption on some of his bad luck at Bristol last week at the world's fastest half mile. And of course, this track, a mile and a half, getting around it through the double dog leg, working their way up speed back to turn number 1. Cast in the leader, Front Apple, and look at this battle now between the 87 and the 10. That's Stitchner and Coates inside the top 5. Down the back straightaway, they go back to 3.
That's shaping up to be your first side-by-side battle, but not so fast. Brandon Front Apple wants to lead into number 5. Hank Caston has led the first 3 laps, trying to lead the 4th one. Drag race to the line. It's going to be Caston just barely leading it, but Brandon Front Apple, he wants this lead, Wesley.
Ready to watch these drivers working their way back around the speedway. Another lap on the board again here in the early going of this Savannah at Charlotte. Watching them back around the corner one more time. A lot of great racing still underway here in the early going again. Ready to see what these drivers can do here for the No Limit Racing Pro Series as they work their way back through the start-finish line. Another lap on the board. Front Apple will now go to the lead. Caston falling back to 3rd. Curry will pass him as well for 2nd.
So suddenly, the early leader, Caston, has now fallen back to 4th as Coates tries to get around him on the inside, bringing Matt Cherry with him. Matt Cherry, Talladega winner, trying to get up. He's already up 3 spots after starting 8th, already up to 5th, trying to get 4th now from either Coates or Caston. And hey, he's thinking, why not both? He wants a shot at Coates as well.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, the race here tonight. The turns are banked at 24 degrees. The straightaways are at 5. As they work their way again around the race course on Sunday for the Roval, we are around the big speedway here tonight. 280 laps, knocking them down with the laps. 400 miles here this evening as the field will come back around the racetrack. Another lap on the board. Front Apple, you're riding on the back of Coates' car, presented by Swag, E-Wraps, and Graphics. And you know, as we talk about the racetrack, 1.5 miles, 2.4 kilometers, 4 turns, double dog leg, 24 degrees of banking as they hit turns 1 and 2. The same in unison with 3 and 4. The straightaways are also at 5 degrees. We could also set ourselves up for that long green flag run. It can happen here. Also, as well as caution calamity at Charlotte, Greg.
We've seen both here in the past on LSR TV at Charlotte. Top 2 beginning to break away right now. Front Apple and Curry have really broken away, almost 0.7 of a second over 3rd place Alec Coates right now. So what these guys are hoping for is that long green flag run so they can continue to try to spread out from the rest of the field. The rest of these guys behind them, they may be thinking, hey, if we can catch an early caution here, we're right back in this thing, as Cherry finally has enough riding around behind Coates. Cherry going for 3rd. He's going to get him off of turn 4. Clear. Matt Cherry, the 3rd.
Hank Caston started this race on the pole. He's now fell back to the 5th position. Here comes Cherry up to 3rd. The Talladega winner. What an all-star crazy race that was. A crazy finish, if you will. As now Cherry has Caston, the pole car, behind him. And also in that mix is going to be Alec Coates in 10, Anthony Fitchner, the 87, Sean Lottison, the 24. Spots going up, spots going back. And we're working now 10 laps complete here at the start-finish line.
So if we can do that 27 more times, we'll be in good shape. But here we go, Battle brewing for 3rd right now as Hank Caston, the pole sitter, trying to get back up on the inside of Matt Cherry after falling outside the top 5 at one point, Wesley. He's slowly beginning his charge back to try to get up into 3rd now from Matt Cherry, but Cherry able to make the high side work there.
Well, hello to Sir Bud. He says, I'm calling it right now. Keys for the win. He's picking Keys to win this race. We'll see what happens, as right now he's all the way back in 20th position. Hello to Aunt Kathy. I'm still waiting on that cheesecake. Greg, you get your cheesecake yet?
Not yet. Didn't
all
get
right.
to in the
All right, Anthony. Aunt Kathy, I'm calling you out. I'm not going to say truck yet no more until you send it. So we are underway here. As thank you to all of our fans. Thank you for everybody that's in the chat box. Interact with us. And of course, as always, at LSR TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Your home for sim racing. Brandon Front Apple leading the way. You're running on board now with the pole car of Caston in 36. Inboard coverage presented by Swag E-Wraps and Graphics. Get on board with the Shark, located out of Seaford, Virginia, and stay tuned for a new Swag series. And how about this, Greg? I know you were busy doing the Fall Classic yesterday up in Washington State, but another race that was announced by iRacing and Swag yesterday, the inaugural Short Track Nationals, a $12,000 purse. What's your take on that?
I saw it this morning. I saw it as I got up for work. That was one of the first things I saw, and I said, oh boy, I can't wait to see what this is all about. Looking forward to this two-day event coming your way. That's going to be coming up in January. Stay tuned here on LSR TV. Like us on Facebook and all that for more details coming soon about this new event announced for January, the Short Track Nationals presented by Swag.
And by the way, it was announced this afternoon that it's going to be a multi-event, not just a one-day deal or a one single event show. There's actually going to be two events in the Short Track Nationals. A lot of details and information will be unveiled on that very soon. As by the way, we've just been announced that Delta has become a hurricane in the Gulf of the United States. So what was a tropical storm is now a hurricane. You have your entertainment, you have your news and notes on esports, and you also have your weather as well. 15 laps in, Brandon Fronapple leading the way, looking to get redemption. The man out of Virginia, the number 5 car. What a nice looking, metallic looking car there as he roars back into turn 1. But closing in is Curry in the 25.
Curry trying to close back in for second. Things have settled down behind them as really no side-by-side battles right now, at least up near the front. Everyone's kind of settling it down right now. The first side-by-side was all the way back in 12th between Wooley and Gilchrist, and even that has settled down now. We're single file pretty much through the whole field right now, Wesley. They're trying to just click laps down and get as many as we can in here. Perhaps see if we can even stretch it the full fuel run here.
Picking them up and putting them down. A good job so far by the pros of the No Limit Racing Cup Series. Hey, coming up later tonight, the boys of the West Coast get their chance to shine at the Daytona Road Course. The trucks put on a phenomenal show. Justin Prince, Greg Rentz will be in the booth. I'll be on pit road. We'll make the trip from Charlotte to virtually Daytona International Speedway Road Course. That's just after 11:15 Eastern on LSR TV. Round 24, Greg, 2 races away to the playoffs for the Northwest Racing Trucks and Cup Series.
And it is going to be epic, Wesley. Road course racing tonight from the world capital of racing, the World Center of Racing Daytona. We're going from America's home for racing to the World Center of Racing, back to back, right here on LSR TV. Make sure you set your reminder for that. That's coming up right at the checker flag of this race.
The 41 in the battle, working his way around the racetrack now. 3 cars in this pack. This is Lovett, the points leader, the winner at Bristol, 3 wins on the year, battling with Jurgen, as well as Wirtz there. Brian Wirtz in that 92 machine, or the 82. All in this mix inside the top 15. This is for 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th. And don't look out behind them. Closing in is Michael Wooley in that 13 car. While they continue to race side by side, Greg, they're cutting the air off of one another, and that's the smartest thing I think they've done so far. Getting single file, go nose to tail, because if they kept battling like they were, Michael Wooley was going to carry Gilchrist and Fluman with him to run him down.
They see that it's working for the guys in front of them to try to come or try to get back up there. One car already on pit road. That's Ben Carver in the number 28. Saw him there as we went, or they flashed by on pit road. Ben Carver on pit road in car number 28. Getting the tires, perhaps an unscheduled stop for him here as the left side's going on now. Ben Carver, first car on pit road. We're only 20 laps in. He's on lap 19 when he makes his first pit stop. So Wesley, I don't think this is scheduled.
Ben Carver out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, the race and electronics entry, 41 years old for Hugh Esports. An unscheduled pit stop, or 20 laps in now in this event. The Barnes Paving and Trucking 400. 22 laps on the board now, working 21 complete Front Apple, Curry, Caston, Cherry, and Coates, the top 5. Fitchner, Lottison, Mayu, Wirtz, Lovett, the top 10. And they work their way again off the corner. We see this battle with the 24 car. This is inside the top 10 with Lottison playing defense as Fitchner and Mayu trying to run him down. Back across the dog leg into turn 1.
Carver coming back out on the track as he is on the apron behind, or on the inside of all these guys, just cycling it through, trying to get back up to speed as Fitchner continues to roar down the backstretch now. Fitchner up 4 spots right now, Wesley. Started 10th up to 6th. Looks to me that the biggest mover of the race was Steven Evasius in the number 12. After not getting a qualifying time, had to start 29th, tail end of the field. He's already up to 18th position. He has gained 11 spots already in car number 12.
23 complete now on lap 24. As we still see the driver Lottison battling there with Mayu trying to get around him. Closing in his Wirtz, and now we have Matt Cherry, who's in 4th, trying to get around Curry in 25. There he is. Curry sets his sights on the pole car of now Hank Caston as they come across the start-finish line as well. 25 laps in. The early going of the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400 will go side by side so you don't miss a thing from America's home for racing. This is the No Limit Racing Pro Series on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. Back with more from Charlotte after this. Hope you enjoyed that side-by-side coverage as you don't miss a lap of the action. Just one more way that LSR TV makes your opportunity to be closer to your home for sim racing to experience everything. Front Apple still continuing to lead the way. Hank Caston 2nd. Matt Cherry, Brian Curry, Alec Coates currently in the top 5. And Greg round out the top 10 for us here at 25 laps complete.
You'll find Fitchner in 6th position with Mayu, Wirtz, Matt Lovett cracking the top 10, and Sean Lodson back to 10th. That's your top 10 so far, Wesley, at lap 28.
And I want to send a shout out to one of my friends of the Performance Racing Network, Doug Rice, the president of PRN, is actually checking out this broadcast tonight. He just sent me a message. Doug, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a great radio call at Charlotte at the Roval. Hope to run into you this Sunday. That's pretty cool that we have a professional radio NASCAR broadcaster checking out this LSR TV broadcast this evening.
That's awesome. Hello, and thanks for tuning in here on LSR TV as we're working lap number 29. Front Apple, Caston, and Cherry, your top 3. And Wesley, notice Cherry and Caston, as they both got around Curry, they are now right on the bumper of Front Apple.
And by the way, shameless plug for Doug Rice. Hopefully you don't get mad, Charles. Obviously, the Performance Racing Network will have coverage of the Bank of America Roval 400 for the radio call on Sunday. PRN as well as Sirius XM Radio. I'll see if he'll do that for us. He's listening. He's watching, actually. Front Apple now trying to get around Caston for the top spot. Here comes Matt Cherry closing in as well. Those 3 cars single file as they work their way back into turn number 3, exiting turn 4 here in America's home for racing virtually, and up to the double dog leg again to the stripe.
Caston back to the lead in the number 36, Front Apple, who passed Caston for the lead back on lap number 5. Is trying to get it back. He's held the lead since then. Lap 31 of 280. Caston, Front Apple, Cherry, Curry, and Coates, your top 5. As now here comes Cherry to the inside of Front Apple for 2nd. Trying to get around him, the Talladega winner, not quite clear off 4. Front Apple comes back on the outside, drag race down through the quad oval. Cherry had it at the line, but Front Apple fights back on the outside.
Caston, the man, still out in front. Matt Cherry on the defense now. One more time trying to run back down. Caston, Front Apple. Down the back straightaway. That's first through third. And then right there is Curry in fourth. There's your top three from the blimp view high above Charlotte Motor Speedway. By the way, aerial coverage from the blimp, the drone, or the copter is presented by All-American Pools. There's that interval, Greg, as we see them pretty much in unison, separated each other. And about the same distance. And
evenly spaced out.
Yes, evenly spaced out. Practicing social distancing, if you will.
Meanwhile, no social distancing going on for fourth as Fitchner has had enough. Riding behind Alec Coates, he says, thank you very much, I'm taking fourth place. And Fitchner gets into fourth, and here comes Wirtz now trying to get around Coates as well. On the inside, Matt Lovett, who started 12th, last week's winner at Bristol. He's beginning to close in now.
Watching these drivers work their way again off the corner. Down the back straightaway. Oh, no contact! Couple of cars get together. Bouncing off of Matt Lovett's the 10 of Coates. Number 10, Casey Coates, scampers up the top of the banking, down the bottom of the racetrack. And the caution will come out on lap 34.
Our first swag yellow flag of the night, Wesley. It comes on lap 34. Taking a look at the swag replay, it was Wirtz and Coates. And
Alec
there's
Coates.
Lovett, the 41.
Watch this. Lovett literally had Coates just come right off of him. Look, he got to the left rear. And Lovett, no harm, no foul. Wasn't really trying to wreck him per se, but he got to the left rear and quick evasive move by everyone else to get on the binders quickly. Let's take a look at this one more time. Maybe on board with the 41 car of Matt Lovett, the points leader and last week's winner at Bristol.
See what we got. This is from our chopper cam. This is on board with Lovett. See him just trying to follow Wirtz through. Down the backstretch, you can see the left side, and right there.
Honestly, Greg, it looked like Coates tried to go for a move on the bottom thinking he was cleared, and he wasn't.
Yeah, I think he was trying to set up a crossover perhaps on Wirtz to try to get that spot back. Unfortunately, Lovett was already there. And if we could take one more look, maybe after these pit stops, Wesley, as everyone's coming down pit road.
The whole cavalry coming down to the pit lane for the first pit stops. Carry down to his pit stall. Caston is in. Everyone else, it's going to be four. Oh, and Cherry overshot his pit stall by 2 stalls for that matter. That's a big penalty there for Matt Cherry.
That's big. That's going to cost him a lot of time as we are already rolling down. Cherry
24 is already off. Understanding the 24.
Hearing the 24 may have missed his pit stall, Sean Lotson in the 24, so he's going to have to come back around after missing the pit stall. And Hank Caston will win the race off pit road. But the big loser there was Matt Cherry in the number 48. He has fallen. He's fallen well outside the top 10 now, I believe. Understand there's some technical issues on Wesley Outland's part, so while we try to get Wesley back, under caution here for the first time tonight on LSR TV, as Lawson going to pull down pit road after missing his pit stall. We're going to step back to try to get Wesley back in here. Before we go back green, you're watching the No Limits Racing series here on LSR TV, your home for sim racing.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom t-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized, I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything, hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts, You know, just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, you know, it's a little bit differently. You know, you can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink color. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and you know, they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, just it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum, you know, requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Welcome back to Charlotte, everybody, here for the No Limits Racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, America's home for racing, live on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. Wesley Outland just about back in the booth here, but Hank Caston's going to lead to the green with Brian Curry to his outside. We're green flag for the second time tonight as we begin lap number 39. Caston leads the way. Brian Wirtz able to get around Curry using that inside line to his advantage. We've seen that time and time again, not just in the NLR, but in Cup cars in general. They're able to get right up on the back bumper if they're starting row 2 inside line and get the jump on the car starting outside front row, and Wirtz did it perfectly to get there. Meanwhile, battle going on now for third as Curry is under pressure now from the 87 of Fitchner, who restarted 6th. Already up third is Anthony Fitchner in the number 87. But here we go, battle for the lead beginning as Brian Wirtz to the inside. Big run in the turn number 1. He clears Caston, brings Fitchner with him, and Fitchner saying, nope, not enough, I want the lead, as he gets a good run on the inside off of turn number 2. New leader Anthony Fitchner leads. Brian Wirtz did not even lead a single lap in that one, as Fitchner got the lead in turn 3. Fitchner is going to become the third different lap leader of the day. And he now begins to try to open it up about 0.2 of a second now at Brandon Fronapple, who led quite a few laps earlier in this one, trying to get back up into second. He will clear. Matt Cherry, who had to restart almost outside the top 10, he has now worked his way back up to third already. So just like that, your front row on this one, Caston and the 50 or the 25 of Curry are both outside the top 3 now off the podium, and Wirtz has fallen also to 4th after getting the lead for about 3/4 of a lap. Fitchner, Fronapple, and Cherry, your top 3 right now.
And they worked their way to the back straightaway. Apologies, we had a power outage here in Durham just for about 5 minutes and lost you there. The good part of it, though, was, Greg, that it was all under the caution flag. So thanks for covering me those couple of laps. We got a car on the wall. Car bouncing off the wall off turn 4 into the entrance of the dog leg. Still no caution yet, but it was the yellow car. Now we got some more cars wrecking at the bottom of turn number 1.
This one is going to bring out a caution.
15 car. That is Art Moline And he might have been the first car that tagged the wall in turn number 4 as well, Greg, and the caution out for the second time.
Take a look at the Swag replay brought to you by Swag Wraps and Graphics. Oh, no,
there was another car.
15. I believe that was the 22 of Fluman that caught the wall there.
And I think Fluman tagged him. There, all they did.
Oh,
yes, they
so
did.
the 15 of Moline hit the wall coming right across the finish line, and that pole vaulted them down right into Fluman, who is still trying to get back up to speed after his contact with the wall about, what would you say, 3 football fields earlier, or maybe more
pretty
or less?
Pretty much. Again, the number 22 car, Fluman, bounced it off the concrete, off the safer wall barrier, right there off of turn 4.
Right
there
here.
He is.
Just horrible timing. He gets in the grass right as Moline hits the wall, and that knocks them down into each other. That's just horrible, horrible timing for both those drivers.
Greg, I really believe that the 15 car of Art Moline might have panicked there because he saw the 22 of Jake Fluman coming back up the racetrack. Let's watch it one more time, and let's ride on board with the 15 car of Moline. And let's see if maybe he bobbed when he should have weaved, or, you know, went high when he should have went low. Or went low when he should have went high, basically. Let's see. I'm just wondering if there was a panic there on the 15 car. Let's watch it down the back straightaway. I guess we don't have the steering wheel.
This is on board with Moline, but this could tell us a story. You're going to see.
There you
Fluman.
go.
Here we go. This is on board the helmet cam. There you see Fluman hit the wall. You see him shoot to the left there. Now watch. There you see him. No,
oh, yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it looked like he panicked there. Now listen to that sound.
Meanwhile, Wesley, interesting on pit road here. The top 3 all came down pit road, but some drivers in the field, middle of the field, stayed out. Looking to me like about maybe the top, or from 4th to 11th, may have stayed out before everyone else came down pit road. So a mixed bag on pit road here.
So some cars pitting, some are not. Anthony Fitchner, Brandon Frontapple, Matt Cherry, Brian Curry. Those cars currently that come down to the pit lane. Brian Wirtz is now the new leader in the car number 82. Ready to see what he can do at the front of the pack. The man of the 82 machine for Dark Horse Racing, 24-year-old out of Byron, Michigan. In the NVIDIA Arizona Peace T entry, his 2nd season on the No Limit Pro Series. And Greg, he's the man out in front right now behind Stephen Evasius in 12.
And how about Stephen Evasius in the 12 car? He did not get a qualifying lap in, Wesley. He went out just a little bit too late.
Yep.
Did not get back to the stripe in time to post a lap. Had to start tail end Charlie, as we said this weekend in Yakima, which one of the drivers you'll see in the Northwest Cup Series race tonight, Seth Frazier, he had to do that after breaking a drive line in his car in practice. Had to start tail end Charlie, 28th of 28. All he did was go through and win the race, so maybe Evasius can channel a little bit of the Frazier luck here this weekend.
The race continues when we come back, approaching lap 50. Under caution, 2nd time, here in the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400. From Charlotte Motor Speedway, this is LSR TV, your home for sim racing. Lights are off for the pace truck, getting ready for the third restart of the event here. As the field will make their way back into the Toyota restart zone. Off of turn number 4, Brian Wirtz, Stephen Evasius, Hank Caston, Casey Clark, Alec Coates currently now in the top 5. Even after the problem the 10 car had in the first caution, he is back good again. Here they come, back to green on the inside. Pulling away, Brian Wirtz, as we are about to put lap 47 complete. Lap 48 back to turn 1 to battle second, back to the corner.
Once again, the inside of row number 2, able to get a run, as this time it was Hank Caston, but Evasius able to fend him off on the outside, gets a better run there on the outside to be able to fend that off, and that allowed Casey Clark to follow him in the number 39, and what a run that outside lane got there, Wesley, because Evasius is going for the lead here at the finish line.
Yeah, look at this, the crowd roaring virtually. This battle for the lead insane. As they dive into turn number 1. Brian Wirtz on the inside. The outside lane will work. Evasius hooks up with wingman Caston. Whoa, Wirtz to the bottom of the racetrack, below the double line.
Wirtz and Clark got together off of turn 2 there, Wesley. They were trying to side draft off each other and got a little bit too much there. And Wirtz got the worst of it, as now Caston's going to be able to get a run. Excuse me, that's Coates who spun out.
Yes, sir.
Where in the world did he come from? He was spun out a while ago. He's already back up to 4th now. Make it 3rd as we got a new leader, Casey Clark.
Look at this man right back into the battle again. So impressed with what he's been able to do as they work their way back around the corner into turn number 3. So impressed with the 10 car. Alec Coates, who brought out the first caution after, crossing over the front of the 41 of Matt Lovett's car.
Look at
and
this.
Since then, he is right now in the dogfight in the top 5.
And look at this, speaking of dogfights. We've got a whole-on hornet's nest back here. You're watching Matt Cherry. That's Hank Caston in the 36 who restarted in 3rd position. He has already fallen, Wesley, outside the top 10. I wonder if maybe he may have caught the wall, because that is a big drop in that 36 car, and he's still dropping. There may be a problem on that 36. He may have caught the wall.
Working their way through the 24 degrees of banking through the corners, back on the 8 degrees of banking on the straightaways, as they work their way back through the double dog leg into turn 1. Up the racetrack goes Caston, the 36 car. That's the pole man. I think you're right, Greg. There's an issue on that car 36 as he's dropping back, being passed like crazy. The yellow flag back out again.
3rd caution of the day. Swag, yellow flag, and it's Fluman.
Fluman again, 2nd time.
Remember, yeah, he hit the wall. Did not trigger the 2nd caution, but he was involved in the 2nd caution, but it was not his contact in the wall that set it out. Let's see what happened here this time. That's Ben Carver, who's a couple laps down behind him. Ooh, whoa, that happened up in front of him. Art Moline, and who was that Moline got in?
That's Moline involved in it again, and there are more cars tangling together.
Yeah, that car right there.
There's 3 or 4 cars involved in this exchange.
All right, so this is the lap before.
So 15 and the 14. Yes, sir.
Yep, Jake Elrod in the 14 and Art Moline.
Jake Fluman in the 22.
I think Fluman actually may have got through it. I saw Carver spinning by, but I think Fluman got through it. Let's take a look here. It's going to come up right there. You see Moline to the inside, just up, and right there some contact. Now watch. I think Fluman got through that. Oh, right there.
No, he got contact from another car.
Carver was trying to get by on the outside, thought he was clear, and just barely clipped him. Taking one more look at it, and we'll barely see Carver just barely get into Fluman. As you see him come by, there's Fluman. Now watch, Carver. Oh, Carver got the wall, just like what happened with Moline. And Carver bounces off the wall.
And then Carver got into Fluman.
Yeah, right in front of Fluman, who has nowhere to go, and the caution comes out. So twice now that's happened to Fluman.
Did the race car hit the pace truck?
It may have. Do we have a cool trickle?
I think the race car hit the pace truck. I think either Carver or Fluman, I think it's Carver in 28, hit the pace truck.
One more look at a swag replay. There you see Carver in the 28 staying out. As he, remember, was laps down. Coming up, and I believe he was getting a wave around here as he would be the lucky dog, as he was the only one a lap down. And nope, just barely missed it.
Hey, so he didn't hit the pace truck?
No.
Okay. Ooh, I thought, but from that camera angle, it did look like he did, but he didn't. So, wow. But you know, Greg, we're in this stint now where we've had what in the last 20 laps, 4 caution flags, and cautions breed cautions. You know, we're seeing that here at Charlotte.
And remember, we had, what was it, a 35-lap run to start this race. Since then, 3 cautions in a 20-lap span, as we're just now beginning lap number 55. 280 laps the distance tonight. 3 hours and 25 minutes on the time limit. So no concern there yet, as we're just about 41 minutes into that. But 280 laps, it's a long way here at Charlotte. 400 miles here tonight, Wesley. And that's a long one. We're still clicking them down, but 41 minutes gone. Still plenty of time to go. Still a long way to go, so settle in wherever you're watching. In fact, drop us a note in the chat. Where are you watching this race from here tonight? Everybody, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, where you're watching it from, location-wise in somewhere on planet Earth, let us know where you're watching this race from here tonight. We got viewers from all over coming in tonight.
I know we had at one time my buddy Doug Rice from Performance Racing Network checking it out. Casey Clark Jr. Well, that's the link I shared on my wall. Casey Clark Jr. is the man out in front, 25 positions to the good. He is in the lead. Stephen Evasius up 27 spots in second. And again, we talked about him, Greg, feverishly efforting to get on the track to qualify. Ran out of time. Time disallowed. He had to go from the back. Started 28th or 29th. He is now in 27 spots up to second. And that 12 car looks really good.
Yeah, very, very nice run for Evasius in the 12. Up to second. Led a couple laps a moment ago before Casey Clark was able to get by in the 39. And how about the third place car? Alec Coates in the number 10. Spun out to bring out that first caution. Fell all the way to the back of the pack as a result. Already back up to third. Showing how much speed is in that 10 car tonight.
The lights are off on the pace truck. They'll make their way back inside the Toyota restart box to the restart zone out of turn 4. With now the Abruzzi Racewear USA number 39 of Casey Clark. Ready to bring him to the green. Stephen Evasius to the outside, row 1. Alec Coates in the 10. Edward Jurgen, 92, row 2. Anthony Fitchner in the 87. Followed by Brandon Fronapple in the 5, who led earlier back in 6, row 3. Sean Lottis into the 24. Matt Cherry, 48, row 4. Casey Gilchrist, 26. 95, Ozzie Mike in the top 10. Into turn number 3. The lights are off for the pace truck. We'll get ready to settle them back in for the restart with now 55 laps completed. Working lap 56. And they'll work their way back into turn number 4. The flash bulbs will start popping. The cheer and ambiance will return. And now it's Clark and Evasius on the front row. Back to the Toyota restart box out of turn 4 in the restart zone. Green is back out. Open that door to Clark. Thought for a second Evasius was going to get a jump. He backed off and let Clark have it, going back to speed and won.
Evasius may have jumped the start just a little bit, which he realized and said, hey, I got to give it back to him. And that's exactly what he did there. As he's seen what's happened on the last 2 restarts to the driver on the outside of the front row. He's been freight trained both times. Didn't want to do that. May have gone just a hair early, but it works out for him in the end because he's got the inside now on Casey Clark Jr. Evasius trying to get the lead back. They're going to race down to the stripe. Give it to Evasius. Second time tonight he's led.
Evasius to the lead in the number 12. Clark on the outside, and here comes Coates in the battle. Trying to go for that 2-for-1 special down the back straightaway. Everybody wiggling, giggling, slicing, and dicing here on the virtual pavement at Charlotte. Turn number 3, Clark the man, Evasius there. To the inside goes Coates.
How about Jurgen? How about Jurgen Wesley in the number 92? Started second, fell back around 10th. We haven't seen him since the start of the race. He's spotted his way back up in the top 5 now.
Back up there, making it happen again. Down the back straightaway. Clark, for the first time, getting back around to Vasius. Remember, we can see several lead changes around the scoring loops around the racetrack, but it does not count until we have an official lead change at the start-finish line. And Clark now, for the second time, being able to go back to the lead. Vasius falling back to second. Alec Coates in the 10 back to third. Edward Jurgen, as Greg just mentioned, my colleague, doing a great job of the 92 car, sitting fourth. And Anthony Thitchner, first time we've mentioned him tonight in the race. He's in the top 5. Now he just cleared Thitchner. Jurgen got around Jurgen for 5th.
Thitchner led a couple laps earlier in this one, Wesley. He had a really good restart on that first restart, got up and led a few laps, but fell back in a hurry, and we haven't seen him since then, but he is a nice job rallying back as well, back up to 4th. Meanwhile, the early race leader, Fronapple, coming back up as well.
Down the back straightaway they go, back into turn number 3. With Clark out in front. Clark, Avasius, Coates, Thitchner, Jurgen, the top 5. As they work their way again off the corner. Whoa, Troll! Hold on there. Was that Fronapple? Boy, I thought he was going to spin it off the corner there. He had Matt Cherry give him a boost to keep him going, and he's getting sideways again. Fronapple up the speedway. He collects Cherry.
And we
no caution.
Have
There's
a caution.
The yellow.
We have
goodness.
A caution. 4th caution of the night. We got a swag replay coming, and Wesley, you saw it. This is a big one.
Lost it the second time. Watch this off 4. And sad for Cherry, as you're going to watch down Fronapple get loose. He had contact off of Jurgen's car, went up the racetrack, and then he got hit again. He got hit 3 times, actually. Let's see this again and keep the 5, because he had lost it on his own almost out of 4. Then he got off the 92 car of Jurgen. Watch them right now as they're they're on the back straightaway now, but watch them as they go to the 3. Because, Greg, he got really loose, and that's when I started saying, oh, I think he's in trouble. Right about here. Right there. He got a little fishtail.
Right there.
Right there. Yes. And then Cherry gave him a little boost to help him go. And then he gave him another punt, and he got into Jurgen. And then the same exchange where Cherry helped him in 4, he hooked him up in 1 and 2.
And I think Cherry may have got tapped from behind by the 25 of Curry right at the crucial moment there, because you saw Cherry kind of shoot to the right a little bit. I think he may have got run over from behind trying to check up and get out of the way, and that unfortunately allowed the 5 of Fronapple to come right up in front of Cherry.
Wow. Pit stops are in. Cars are on the pit lane. Another caution here. By the way, cautions and replays are presented by Swag, E-Wraps, and Graphics. Let the Sharks of Billy and Rhonda Smith and their employees take care of all of your wrapping needs, whether virtual or reality, whether putting it on your business vehicle, emergency vehicle, race car, or your racing wrap for esports as well. And don't forget, they also have the Simulation World Auto Group, big special events like the E300, the Short Track Nationals, and other events coming soon for dirt and pavement. That is Swag, Simulation World Auto Group on Facebook. Also Swag, E-Wraps, and Graphics for our caution and replays. And again, you can go to Swag on Facebook as well for their business page. Brandon Fronapple, Brian Curry, Matt Cherry, Jake Fluman, all on the pit lane for service as Casey Clark leads the way. Speaking of Swag, let's take a break. We'll give you some more details about the Simulation World Auto Group. We're under yellow flag. Back with more for the No Limit Racing Pro Series from Charlotte. This is LSR TV, your home for sim racing.
There's a lot of esports leagues in iRacing, but there's nothing like Swag. Special events, series sanctioning, the Simulation World Auto Group Swag is excited for you to become a member and join our team. Weekly competition includes Stadium Super Trucks, the Outlaw Super Late Model Series, the Short Track Cup All-Star Challenge, the Winter Heat during the winter months, and so much more. Special events and venues is also throughout the year. We want you to be a part of the team. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by looking up Swag Esports Racing and jump on board with the Shark. Big money, fun times. We want you to be a part of what is the new Simulation World Auto Group. All the details again on Swag Racing Esports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll see you at the virtual tracks across the world. And if not, follow broadcast coverage on LSR TV, the weekly racer in CRN Sports.
Lights are off for the pace truck. We will try to do this again. We are 65 laps on the board, 64 laps completed. No, I'm sorry, 65 laps completed, 66 laps on the board. The field will come back to the Toyota restart zone on lap number 67. They'll work on that lap. Green will come back out as Casey Clark looking strong out in front. But I'll tell you what, Greg Rance, Alec Coates, after bringing out the first caution, no harm, no foul after getting tagged in the left rear by Matt Lovett for a pass on the back straightaway. No damage, or he did use a repair, and since then, he's been strong in the 10 car.
He has been very strong, just quietly making his way up through the field here as we click laps away, except for another restart. Going to be lap 67 when we go back green. And watching out, Coates, but the problem here, Wesley, he's in that outside front row, which has been kind of a problem spot on these restarts. Every time thus far, the car in third has been able to get a good run, except for when Evasius basically said, nah, I'm going a little bit earlier than you would think. Now Evasius is in that spot. I'm thinking Evasius is going to get right up on the back bumper of Clark Jr. here, and we're going to see what he can do with it.
The 22-year-old out of Grafton, Ohio, for Hauling Gas Motorsports, brings it back to the Toyota restart zone. Green back in the air, and he has pulled away. Hauling Gas into turn one.
And Evasius does just that. Gets around Coates into number 10. So move the 12 of Evasius back to second. And he's racing with a chip on his shoulder right now after having that happen in qualifying. So he wants a shot back here at the number 10 of Coates. He's got him already. Now wants the 39 of Casey Clark Jr. who continues to lead the way. Those three breaking away from fifth. Jurgen, who rounds out your top five.
Boy, I thought for a second Evasius was going to tag the wall. He'll hold on to it as they work their way back out of turn number 2 again to the back straightaway. There's your leaders. Clark, Evasius, Coates, 1, 2, and 3. Evasius to the bottom into turn 3 on the 24 degrees of banking. Looking for the lead on Clark out of 4.
He wants it. Just barely coming together off turn 4. Give it to Evasius. He leads.
For the third time, the good wrench, number 12, Steve Evasius. But the boy out of Grafton, Ohio, Clark wants it back. He's going to battle on the outside, open up the door for Coates. Will he try to go 3 wide? They will not. He can't decide whether he wants to go left or right, good or evil, as they go into turn number 1, into 3, actually.
He thought about it, but decided better of it as Clark and Evasius just barely get together there off of turn 4. Evasius leads the lap 3/1000ths of a second, the margin. And
here comes Thitchner. And Thitchner now in the battle. Jurgen. Edward Jurgen is up there.
And Lodison also in there.
Wow. Talk about crazy driving, blocking, defensive driving. We saw it yesterday in Talladega, and now we are seeing it here in Charlotte virtually. Clark is the man back out in front again. Evasius back on defense. A battle with Coates for second side by side. Fitchner, Lottis, and Jurgen back in that battle as they go into turn one.
6-car breakaway at the front of the field. Oh, I think Jurgen got really close to the wall there. Woo! Off of turn two.
Jurgen did bounce off the wall on the back straightaway. You saw a shower of sparks come from the back end of the 92 car. As the leaders exit off turn 4, back through the dog leg. Here on the 5 degrees of banking on the straightaway. Back to turn 1 with Clark out in front. Greg, they go back now single file into 1.
And meanwhile, a 7th car has joined the fun as the 17 of Josh Klinger, who started 19th up to 7th. He has caught up with all that slicing and dicing. He was able to just put his head down and go for it, and now he has caught it. 7-car battle here at the front. But the top 2 cars right now, Wesley, Casey Clark Jr. and Steven Evasius, they both started outside the top 25. And here they are running 1-2, only on lap 73.
Riding on board with the leader, Clark, on the outside of Evasius. He's at his back door. That camera presented by Swag. Here comes Evasius on the outside. He's got to run. Can he clear him? Into 3. He will. Clark comes back on defense on the bottom. They're going to be side by side when they exit off of turn 4, coming to the start-finish line. A dead heat. Too close to call. Woo!
Lifetime in scoring, it's a tie. 0.000. They gave it to Evasius at the line, but wow, that was a dead tie. Wesley, good thing that wasn't the last lap.
I know. That would be shades of the crazy finishes we've seen between Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson and Bobby Labonte, and that's another virtual version of that. And they're going to try to do it again. They're dead even side by side. Now open up the door again now for help by Fitchner. Moving to second, trying to get there around Clark. He will. He'll hook up. Maverick and Goose is now Evasius and Fitchner. And that puts Iceman Clark back to third.
Clark trying to get the run back at Fitchner now. Problem is, with him falling to third, he is now falling into the clutches of Coates and company behind him, as Evasius and Fitchner will now battle it out for the lead. Evasius leads. Here comes Fitchner. He wants to lead for the second time tonight.
And do you even realize, do these drivers even realize, Greg, that there's still over 200 laps remaining in this race?
I'm sure
we're only 75 complete.
I'm sure they realize it, but I don't think they care right now. They want their car up front on LSR TV, like Fitchner just got right now. He's got it in front of Evasius off of turn 4. You've got a new leader. It's the 87 of Anthony Fitchner taking the lead on lap 77.
From Poughkeepsie, New York, in the Jim Beam Haters Make You Famous Racing entry, the 32-year-old of Anthony Fitchner to the point. Pulling away from Evasius in the Goodwrench colors, number 12. And the Hauling Gas Motorsports entry of Clark in 39, back to third. Alec Coates back to fourth in 10. Sean Lottison in the 24, the top 5. And now they kind of calm down a little bit there, Greg. It was kind of intense there for about 10 laps or so.
Starting to calm down, but now it's starting to pick back up as Clark to the inside again of Evasius for second. Remember, Evasius was able to make the pass on the outside. Now Clark trying to get that inside lane going again as he gets a nice run off turn 2, but Evasius able to get him back.
Yeah, I think I spoke too soon. We'll see these drivers now work their way back around the start-finish line. Fitchner leads. Evasius in second. They're single file, door-to-door now for a moment with Coates and Clark. And now open up the door for Sean Lottison on the inside in 24. He'll also carry Klinger with him in 17. The Duke University colors. First time we've mentioned him. Car off the pace on the bottom of the apron.
That was Matt Cherry.
Yeah, what a tough break for Matt Cherry.
He was on the lead lap still.
He's one lap down now. One lap down, so if we do get a caution, he would get the free pass.
Not sure what
but
happened.
Now he's coming to the pits.
Not sure what happened with Cherry, as he had already had to come in and get some damage repaired earlier. Was still on the lead lap. Unfortunately, that's no longer going to be the case.
A tough break for the Talladega winner. When we debuted the No Limit Racing Pro Series on LSR TV a couple of weeks ago, what a crazy finish that was, Greg.
Yeah, that was a spectacular finish. And Matt Cherry, he kind of just rode around in that one for the first 2/3 of it and then decided, okay, time to go with about 25 laps to go. And just like that, he had himself a Talladega victory on LSR TV in the first ever No Limits Racing Pro Series race to be streamed here on LSR TV. It was Cherry, the inaugural winner. Now Thitchner trying to lead the way away from Evasius, Coates, Clark, and Lotus in your top 5. Could we perhaps, Wesley, see 3 winners in our first 3 races with the NLR Pro Series?
And by the way, the man that has dominated the series so far, as I believe this is actually race number 7 on the schedule here tonight. Race number 7 is this event at Charlotte. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that if this race goes into the distance of the production for the LSR TV Northwest Cup Series event from the Daytona Road Course, what we will do is we will still stay live for this broadcast. Our other assistant producer, Will Duvall, will go to the director's chair for that broadcast to get things kicked off. Greg, you will be joining Justin in the booth as always, and I'll be running back down the pit road when this race concludes. And our executive producer, Charles Wooten, will help me bring the call for the finish of this race. But hopefully that doesn't happen.
Whoa, we got trouble.
Whoa, look out, Evasius and Coates get together. Front straightaway, hold it together, no caution.
There it is.
Wow. Hope you enjoyed that public service announcement, and now back on track at a caution.
I don't think Evasius enjoyed it very much, Wesley. Evasius and Clark were probably, or Coates, excuse me, were probably like, no, that's not what's going to happen. And that's their protest. That's their form of a protest there. Let's take a look at what happened here. This was 4
and mind you, we still have 2 hours.
Evasius to the outside, trying to get a run on Thitchner, and right there they just get together off of turn number 4. And we were able to stay green until about right there. A caution was thrown as a precautionary there, Wesley, because we didn't know what those 2 cars were going to do as they came back up the track.
Yeah. Mind you, we have 194 laps to go. So that's how much is left. Lap 140 is halfway, or lap 141 is halfway. And again, as I said, since we're under the yellow flag, this is what we're going to do. If this race prolongs past the Northwest Cup Series start time at 11:15, what we will do is Greg will go and join Justin virtually at the Daytona Road Course. I will return for that on pit road as I normally do once this race concludes. And then myself, Charles Wooten, and myself will bring the finish for this event here at Charlotte. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Greg, that does not happen. We can bring this one on home for supper and then get ready for the other race at the Daytona Road Course, which, by the way, I'm looking forward to that one. Pit is open. Brian Wirtz overshoots his pit stall. He's going to lose a couple of seconds after that. And already exiting off the pit lane, I believe, was Matt Lovett, Josh Mayu, Anthony Thitchner, all these drivers, Josh Klinger, all off the pit lane. Alec Coates, did he pit? I don't think he did.
Do not believe
he did
Coates
not pit.
pitted.
Yep.
Matt Cherry has parked it for the night. He is your first driver to officially retire from the race here, Wesley. So Matt Cherry was running very strong in the early stages. Looked like he had a car with potential for the victory. Is out of the race early.
That's a tough break there for him again. And looks like Alec Coates and now also David DeFazio will drop down to the bottom of the apron, and they'll make their pit stops as well as the 82 car. Wonder if he's going to suffer a penalty. Brian Wirtz. No, I'm sorry, that's Michael Wooley in third. His cars look just alike. They're green and black. Other cars on the pit lane. Again, a tough for Matt Cherry. He is out as these cars now to their respective pit stalls for service as well. This will cycle back around as the leader being Matt Lovett from Bristol, Tennessee, the points leader of the series, the man of the number 41. And the number 41 machine from Bristol for Dark Horse Racing, the 30-year-old in the National Alliance of Mental Illness Injury for his second year on the Pro Series. And Greg, he won a wild one at Bristol last Monday night to pick up his third win on the season. We'll see what he can do now as the man out in front.
That's Matt Lovett in the number 41. Fitchner in second. Mayu back up to third where he started in the 02 car. Then Lottison and Klinger, your top five.
Coming up next Monday night, 218 laps at Dover. We're going to see what this exciting mile and a half will provide tonight here at America's Home for Racing. And then it's off to where Miles the Munster will chop him up on the Munster Mile in Delaware. Next Monday night, round number 8. Then it's on to round number 9 at Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. What turn for, Greg? 98 laps for that event in round number 9. And by the way, the final race in the regular season, race 10, 280 laps around Richmond. That'll be a fun sprint. And then it's on to the playoffs beginning at Las Vegas.
Can't wait for what's coming up here on LSR TV with the NLR Pro Series. So happy that we were able to get this series with us here on LSR TV moving forward. Can't wait to keep bringing you the NLR Pro Series every Monday night. And hopefully this opens the door to work with these guys again should they pursue other leagues here in the future.
I know that definitely the Thunder Series, they have a Thunder Series deal. By the way, want to remind you, coming up on October the 26th is going to be the All-Star Race. That is going to be before the race number 10 at Richmond, so Pocono. And then the All-Star Race, non-points. That'll be October the 26th. There's going to be a special format for that event. And then they have, again, that big event coming up. They're going to have a holiday break around Thanksgiving, the same as well as for Christmas. So, again, we're going to be following these guys all the way until January 11th when the champion will be crowned at Phoenix. Ready to come back for the green flag here in just a moment. The lights are off on the pace truck. They'll make their way back to the Toyota restart zone out of turn number 4 with now Matt Lovett, Anthony Fitchner on the front row, Josh Mayu, Sean Lottison row 2 in the 02 and 24, Cody Coxon 54, Josh Klinger row 3, Casey Gilchrist 26, Edward Jurgen 92, Brian Curry 25, and the pole car, Hank Caston 36, the top 10, back to green flag, Matt Lovett trying to go for his 4th win and 2 in a row after winning Bristol here in Charlotte, back to green on lap 89.
Yeah, he picked up 2 wins before LSR TV picked up the broadcast rights to this series. He won at Bristol last week on LSR TV, but the first 2 races were not streamed here on LSR TV, so you didn't get a chance to see those, but he leads the series and wins with 3. And then, of course, Dega winner Matt Cherry not in the field anymore after going behind the wall. But we got a battle for the lead. Anthony Fitchner wants it back.
Fitchner, the 87, on defense now, trying to get around Lovett. Lovett will just give it up as we approach lap 100 in this 280-lap affair. Anthony Fitchner now back to the lead. Matt Lovett second, Josh Mayu third. Now Lottison and Caston the top 5. Caston moved up 4 positions since that restart. He was in 10th at the green.
Caston has been so fast on the short run, Wesley. But remember, he had issues earlier on the longer run, so we'll see if he's able to get it going again or if that problem comes back. Looks to be, though, for the time being, that whatever the issue was on the 36 we saw earlier, right around the time of the second caution, has gone away.
Fitchner starting to open up that margin now. Practicing virtual social distancing away from the pack of Lovett, Mayu, Caston, and Moore. And that cast of characters now bunched up tighter than a lid on a pickle jar in the pack from the bottom of the top shelf off of turn number 2.
Leader has broken away 0.3 of a second over the rest of the field as Caston already trying to get up into second, Wesley, and he will make it look easy over 3-time winner Matt Lovett in the 41. Suddenly, just like that, Hank Caston, the pole sitter, back up to second, trying to get the lead for the first time since lap 4 that Hank Caston has led the race, if he can get around Fitchner. And he's going to the inside. He is going to do exactly
for the lead.
That. Got him.
He clears him on the outside lane. No Stitchner there. Bottom works for Caston. And the pole car back to the point. Here is Charlotte on lap number 94.
So Hank Caston leading for the first time since lap number 4. Drivers looking for a long green flag run. Brian Curry back up there as well. He was caught up in some issues earlier today. So the front row, well, excuse me, Brian Curry actually started 5th, but he's trying to get back up there as he was leading early, trying to get up there with the field. Got up as high as 2nd in the early stages. Hasn't led a lap yet, but is trying to get up now around Caston.
Approaching lap 100. We'll go side by side so you don't miss a thing. The race continues in the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400 on LSR TV, your home for sim racing from Charlotte.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom t-shirts, racing. We'll do actually any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized, I mean, we do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where we, you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Back here is Charlotte. Here they come roaring off turn 4. 100 laps complete. Next time around, a century grind. Here is Charlotte in the books. And still 180 remaining, 40 laps to halfway. And a new leader out in front, Greg Rentz, by the name of Michael Wooley in 13.
And what a run he has had, just driving through the field. Started 15th, and he is up to 2nd. here in the number 13. He's going to come around and lead a lap for the first time tonight. Michael Wooley officially leading the lap here at Charlotte on lap 102.
From the Land of Lincoln, the 40-year-old for Dark Horse Racing from Eddington, Illinois, for Team NVIDIA Racing, Michael Wooley. Now another leader here at Charlotte. I wish that we could our producer could actually find a thing where we could show a graphic of how many lead changes and different leaders we've had in the race, how many caution flags we've had in the race, to have those types of statistics, because I got a feeling, Greg, we've had probably 12 different drivers lead this race so far, or maybe 9 different drivers, but they've led multiple times.
It's been up there. I know it's close to it. We had Fitchner lead. Evasius took a turn up front, or 3. Clark took a couple turns up front. We had Hank Caston just take his second turn up front. And then you had other drivers who we've seen fall off since then. Brandon Fronapple, he led a good chunk of the early stages. He's back in 26th now. He's the last car on the lead lap, but he led about 30 laps earlier in this one. So it's been a case of drivers coming out, taking their turn up front, then falling back, and then next up, you're up, and we've kind of seen it trade back and forth quite a bit now.
And by the way, Josh Klinger is on the pit road as well now with the number 17 car, several laps down. There are 26 cars on the lead lap from the leader, Wooley, to Fronapple. The lead is separated by almost 16 seconds. So nowhere inside are we seeing any leaders having to deal with lap traffic, which is pretty good right here so far for now.
So far, our second longest green flag run of the day as we work lap 105.
And remember, this is the plan. There's already a plan put in place for the broadcast. If this race, if the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400 runs past the started time for the Northwest Cup Series broadcast from the Daytona Road Course, I will stay in the booth. Charles Wooten will join me also on production and color. And Greg will be joining Justin Prince for the Cup race for the Northwest Series at Daytona. And as soon as that one concludes, then I'll hightail it back over there and work the pit lane, as I always do. But we want to definitely do our best to get both of these races successfully done. This race is definitely a long one, 400 miles, 280 laps. And honestly, Greg, we're still 30-plus laps to the halfway mark, and it's 9:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, we're still trying to get to halfway. We're about 33 laps or so from that halfway mark, so still a lot of way to go. And time limit, we're at 1 hour and 17 minutes. So we're closing in on halfway, not just in the race, but we're starting to close in on the halfway point of the time limit too. As a matter of fact, I think we've actually just eclipsed halfway this minute, actually doing some math in my head, but then again, that's announcer math. That's a lot different than regular math.
Understanding that if this race was to stay green flag to the finish right now, Greg, this race could be finished in 43 minutes.
You better cross your fingers.
I'm doing it, brother. If you are a fan of a long green flag run, Katie bar the door, maybe that's what these guys can do. But I feel that as we get down to lap 200, 250, basically, it's going to get crazy again. But we'll see. These are the best of the best in pro racing that Brandon Fronapple and the No Limit Racing Pro Series have. And they're talented. We have a couple of hiccups along the way, but for the most part, it's been an interesting race, a fun race so far here for the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400 from Charlotte, Greg.
Oh, it's definitely been a blast. We've had some great racing going on here, and it's been a race of comers and goers, Wesley. You have your guys come up, lead a few laps, then they fall back. Next group up, they take their turn up front, then they fall back, and then another group comes up, and then the first group's back. So it's really been a lot of fun watching how it progresses here, and overall, only one car out of the race right now. That's Matt Cherry, who started the race. Josh Klinger coming back out onto the track right now. He had to pit under green for some damage repair. He's going to be 9 laps down when he gets back up to speed, possibly 10 if he gets caught again. But only two cars that started the race not on the lead lap, and one of those is just now coming back out on the track.
Riding on board thanks to Swag with the 6th place car. Number 39, Casey Clark, up 20 positions on the racetrack since the last caution flag. He has been rocketing through the field there, Greg.
Clark trying to get back up there after taking a turn up front in the 39, led a few laps. He fell back to now in 6th. Under pressure, though, from Isaac Mock. We haven't talked about Mock yet tonight. He started 16th. He's up to 7th, trying to get 6th away from Casey Clark Jr., but he gets up really close to the wall there, Wesley.
Very, very high off the banking out of 4. And another thing we haven't really hinted on to talk about, Greg, and maybe if we ride on board with another one of these drivers in the cockpit and we could actually show you, is how banked this track really is. 24 degrees of banking, 5 degrees down the straightaway. You feel it. You can literally see where you're sideways, going through the corner, through the banking, and watch this, 5 degrees in the corner. Look at it like it's like an incline going up a hill. And notice how you get sideways on the banking.
Boy, and did you see, they're looking in the mirror there, the little left side mirror there. Did you see that Hank Caston is trying to get the lead back as we were on board with Wirtz? Hank Caston watching the mirror. There you see him peeking low.
There he is.
Right by the ticker. There he is. Knock, knock.
Here, kitty, kitty. Or should I say in the green car, here, lizard, 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 lizard. Casting on the inside, looking for the lead.
I think he broke our producer. And Wirtz able to get another run there on the exit of 2, able to put a little bit more gap between himself and Caston. Meanwhile, Wooley hanging back there in 3rd now after he took a turn up front. Wirtz back up front now in the 82. Look at Brian Curry also trying to close in. Top 4 have broken away a few seconds over Steven Evasius, who's in 5th right now. 4-car breakaway up here at the front.
And Wirtz down the back stretch into 3. Caston will try it one more time on the bottom. He'll carry Wooley with him. Back to the tri-oval, or to the double dog leg, if you will. Start finish line, back to 1. So we have had Wirtz lead, Caston, Wooley, Evasius, Lovett, Fitchner, Clark. Also at one time in the race, we've also had the driver of Front Apple lead. Cherry led a lap before he got involved in an accident. We've had 9 different leaders so far lead this race.
And it has been wild. Wow, lap traffic. Ben Carver in the 28 right in front of the field, just trying to get out of the way.
Wow.
And he caught the apron, Wesley, and he had nowhere to go but towards the wall. And Caston and Wooley both did a great job of checking up to avoid running into him, but that allowed Curry to get back up there.
Yeah, Curry's now made it a 3-car fight for that bridesmaid spot. Quick, evasive work there. Great jobs by these guys, knowing that Carver was about to go up to the top shelf. And quickly on the binders, as the man out in front, Brian Wirtz in the number 82 machine, leading the way as we are closing in on lap 120. Brian Wirtz for Dark Horse Racing, the 24-year-old out of Byron, Michigan, the NVIDIA, Arizona's Peace T entry.
Caston trying to close in on Wirtz. Pole sitter Hank Caston has taken 2 turns up front so far after leading the first 4 laps. The start of this green flag run, rocketed through the field to get himself back up into the point for about 8 laps or so before Wooley got around him, and then Wirtz was able to work his way past both of them. And at the back there, at the very top of your screen, you saw Steven Evasius. That's the back distance between the front 4, and there's 5th place Steven Evasius. That's the distance you see him working with right now.
Back to the start finish line, another lap on the board. Wirtz leading. Caston second. Wooley, Curry, Evasius, 20 to halfway. 160 to the checkered flag. And this is a long green flag run. About to actually approach the longest green flag run of the race so far now, Greg.
We're closing in. We're about 4 laps from that mark.
That's right.
As Wirtz leads. Caston second and lap traffic ahead of them. Trying to get an identification on who that is. Believe that's Fronapple. Yes, it is. Who led about 30 laps in the early stages. He led most of that first green flag run after getting around Hank Caston, who, by the way, is beginning to put the pressure on Wirtz. Here he comes for the lead in turn 3.
We're watching Evasius in his own world in 5th, and now there's the battle for the lead. Wirtz going to get back up on the high horse one more time.
For the third time.
To the lead. Third time a charm, as you said. Took the words right out of my mouth there, Greg. That's what I was about to say.
For the third time here tonight, Hank Caston leads. Trying to close in on the driver who passed him for the lead. That's the driver who passed him for the lead back on lap 5. Fronapple in the number 5. And he's just going to get out of the way and allow both these leaders, Caston and Wirtz, to go by.
And I think that's a good thing. I mean, you know, Brandon's a good driver, the man out of Virginia, but the bottom line is sometimes there's a race and you're not in it. And the best thing to do when you're getting lapped down is just to respect the leaders, let them have their own race. And by the way, he is the first car 1 lap down, Carver 2 laps down, Klinger 10 laps down off racetrack, and Matt Cherry again in the 48 car out of this event so far as we're approaching halfway. If the caution was to come out, the next swag yellow flag, if it does, Brandon Fronapple will get the free pass and go back on the lead lap. And then the opportunity will be for Carver and Klinger to take the wave around if they do not pit.
It's about half a straightaway to the next lap car, which will be up for grabs. That is currently the 14 of Jake Elrod, who was involved in an earlier incident. And Wesley, Edward Jurgen, who started this race second and had climbed back into the top 5, has fallen back to 23rd as one car is on pit road. Casey Gilchrist in the 26, up as high as 3rd earlier today on pit road in the 26 car.
Yeah, Gilchrist is on the pit lane for the attention of his crew. And you got to wonder, Greg, as not only as we begin to approach halfway here in the Barnes Pavement and Trucking 400, could we also be getting ready to see another cycle of green flag pit stops, actually for the first time in this race?
Maybe. That's what I'm starting to wonder, is was that scheduled for Gilchrist, just to try to get himself maybe undercut here on this long green flag run as we have surpassed. No, he got loose coming on the track and he had to chase it all the way to the apron in the number 26. I looked down at the 26 and he was facing the inside wall. Did a great job to hang on to it. There you see him. Let's see if we can perhaps get a look at the swag replay if we triggered it there.
I'm sure we can.
To see if we got it.
Our cameramen are on it in our production truck.
What happened.
Lead executive producer Charles Wooten says, "You ask, you shall receive," Greg.
All right, let's take a look at what happened here. I think he may have gone the apron a little bit too early, Wesley, as you see him picking up speed.
And there might be a penalty for that.
He just broke loose on the apron.
Oh, wow. And there may be a penalty for that. You see that cone?
Yeah, that's an unsafe pit exit.
That's right. I'm wondering if that's an unsafe pit exit, so that he might suffer a penalty as well. And in addition to that, if you watch it again as we show you turn 2, next time our cameras show it, there is a cone, just like NASCAR, just like we do here in this series. When you pit, there is a blend line. You have to stay below that blend line, which is the double white lines, the blue stripe in the middle. And then once you pass that cone exiting on the back straightaway, Greg, then you can begin to advance your way up the racetrack on the backstretch.
And trust me, when first starting out here, that will get you every single time as you try to come up on the racetrack. It will get you time and time again. Meanwhile, our leaders are in some heavy lap traffic now as they've gotten around Elrod. Next up is Jurgen, the outside pole sitter. And the number 92 started this race second in the Gatorade Ford. He just went a lap down.
Jurgen will go a lap down now, so if the caution comes out, he would get the free pass to go back on the lead lap. Here comes Wirtz right behind him. Got to be wondering, Greg, when green flag pit stops are about to happen. We're also 9 laps away to halfway, or 10 laps away to halfway, actually.
And I wonder if drivers who may have seen what happened there with Casey Gilchrist, I wonder now, are they starting to think about that? They're going to have to keep that in mind when they get on the track. Okay, make sure you hit your marks, even coming off pit road on the apron there. Don't want to make a mistake like that.
Oh, a bunch of traffic there inside the top 15 with Keys and Edwards, Lottison, and also lap cars to boot. They work their way back around America's home for racing virtually, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Here comes now, he mentioned his name in a while, the 39 of Clark.
Another
trying to get back in the top 10 to get around Josh Mayu there in the 02, Greg.
Another car on pit road as well. Fluman, the 22, has been caught up in a few incidents. He's ducking down pit road as we take a look back at what you were talking about, Wesley. Clark, Mayu, and Knighton all up there. That's going on for 9th right now, 9th through 12th. But we're starting to see a few more takers on pit road here. So you asked when we were going to start seeing guys on pit road. We're seeing them slowly make their way on. I think it's not going to be too long before we start seeing some of our leaders come down pit road.
Just before halfway as well. And by the way, we are currently in our longest green flag run cycle of this event so far tonight. We started this race with 35 laps clean and green, and since then we've had a rash of caution flags. And Hank Caston preparing to make his 3rd pit stop when he does. His last time in the pits, 47 laps. So you got to wonder if they can do around a 45 to 50 lap green flag run, I believe, before they got to come down to the pit lane here. I believe Caston will be pitting within the next 5 laps, Greg. That's my prediction.
May see their leaders start coming on pit road in 5 laps. A couple of cars, again, have taken the undercut strategy, those being Gilchrist in the 26 and Fluman in the 22. Those are your 2 drivers who have pitted under the green so far here in this green flag run. Rest of the cars that are currently being scored a lap down have all been lapped naturally under green.
And new lead change. Brian Wirtz getting around the 36 of Hank Caston. He'll go to the lead now, just shy before halfway.
Right before pit stops, too. That could be big.
Now, my question is this, Greg. When Wirtz pits, does Caston pit? Does Wooley pit behind him? Do these guys play possum and hang right with each other to stay in the pack in the draft? Is Caston coming back on the inside to go back to the lead around Wirtz off of 2?
Caston trying to get back around. Now, here's the thing, Wesley. Dark Horse Racing has 2 entries in those top 3 right now in Wirtz, and actually all 3 of them, Wooley, Caston, and Wirtz, all teammates for Dark Horse Racing. That's right. That was Thitchner on pit road. Pit stops have begun, so all 3 of those cars are teammates. They may all elect to come down on the same lap anyway as Steven Evasius gets rolling. He's had some time up at the front. Believe that's the 87 of Thitchner you're looking at getting off pit road now. So Dark Horse Racing 1, 2, 3 right now. They may all be on the same pit strategy anyway, and they may all come down on the same lap.
I do believe that we are going to see everyone beginning to make their way onto the pit lane. You know, I'm a pit reporter for a lot of coverage, of course, for the Northwest Cup Series coming up next. And, you know, Greg, when you're working pit road, it's a totally different job than when you're in the booth or when you're in the turn announcing positions. And when you're in the pits, you gotta strategize. You gotta talk to these guys, and you know you got a pretty good idea of being able to figure out when they're gonna pit, when they're using up their tires, when the fuel limit's running out. And like I said, I got a feeling right before we come to halfway, these guys are gonna have to come to the pit lane, as that is in 4 more laps. Caston out in front. Wirtz, Wooley, Curry, Lovett, Coates, the top 5, and halfway approaching here.
halfway this time by here in this one. So after a 34-lap green flag run to start things off here tonight, we have smooth cautions mid-race, but we're getting about 50 laps
here. Here
they come.
I told you.
Word.
Did I not call it, or did I call it, Greg
I think
Rance?
Wooley stayed out. Michael Wooley stayed out to lead a lap.
Our producer also in the background was calling it too, but like I said, I had a feeling before lap 140 they would come to the pit lane and halfway. And by the way, we are halfway home in the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400 from Charlotte. Michael Wooley is now the new leader, as Caston and a host of other cars, including Brian Curry, Casey Knighton, Brian Wirtz, Isaac Mock, Ryan Hedrick. Now Michael Wooley onto the pit lane. So is Matt Lovett as well. These cars pitting. Alec Coates behind him. Green flag pit stops underway. It's a flurry of activity of cars going left and right on the pit lane here in Charlotte, Greg.
See what the 46 car makes his move next up, as Keys will stay out to lead the lap. So we got a new leader for the first time tonight, Keys in the number 46, as road still a busy place, as most of our cars have now all of a sudden in these last couple laps made the turn on the pit road. Believe this may leave Keith as the only car left not making a pit stop, and he is already slowing down, got the hand out the window. He's coming this time.
Hey, by the way, did you know that the World of Thunder Cup Series is back? Returning from being a Monday night series, the World of Thunder Cup Series, formerly known as the Monday Night Cup Series, is moving to Tuesdays, beginning tomorrow, with a special early time, 6:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Central, 3:30 Pacific for my Washington friend Greg Rentz on LSR TV, and they are going to cover the final 12 weeks of the season, or right now I think it's a 12-week schedule, I believe is what it is, Greg. Looking forward to having the Monday Night Cup Series. Now we're going to Tuesdays, a part of Thunder Tuesdays coming soon. Also, we have a new series we were talking about that'll be debuting next Tuesday and Wednesday night. Next Tuesday night after the World of Thunder Cup Series, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, it will be the Studio Displays Super Late Model Dirt Series, live on LSR TV, Race on Texas, and CRN Sports for audio coverage. Then on Wednesday night, it is the new Shake and Bake Cup Series. We covered that race last Tuesday night. They are moving to Wednesday night, with now being called the S&B Cup Series, presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters. And again, that will be another event to check out at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then again on Thursday nights, I call it Truck Thunder Thursday for LSR TV, Greg Rentz, because we have a new series under the swag banner, the PMI Pavement Marketing Truck Series. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. LSR TV, Race on Texas, and audio coverage on CRN before the Northwest Truck Series at 11:45 on Thursday night. And of course, don't forget about the On the Rails Fall Brawl. That's really fun. Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. All the cool things coming soon to your home for sim racing. Greg Rentz, LSR TV. And hey, buddy, I'm looking forward to calling that Northwest Super Late Model Tour with you also. Late nights on Sunday coming soon. Next month on LSR TV as well.
Yeah, we only got one more late model race here in the Northwest. The Fall Classic is typically the big end of the year party up here in the Northwest. Unfortunately, because of COVID, one of our premier staple races this year at Evergreen Speedway, the Central Welding 125, did not happen. It's going to happen this weekend. It's the big finale this year. Not going to be able to make it over there for it, but after that race, that's it. We're done here in the Northwest. So that means it's time for the bad boys and girls of the Northwest to strap in and run on the iRacing Northwest Tour, brought to you by Joe's Racing Products on its new home, LSR TV. Can't wait to be with you. Short track racing here on Sunday nights.
Just some of the cool things that are along the way here on LSR TV. Hey, We're going to rest our voices. We're after halfway. Let's do an extended kick in the asphalt as they cross the start-finish line here at America's Home for Racing. Hope you enjoyed that extended kick in the asphalt. Wow, wow, wow.
There's Chewbacca.
Hey,
heard from
awesome times, man. I'm telling you what. I literally just kind of when we do the kick in the asphalt, I just literally just kind of mimic the Kenny Wallace Jake break and just, the cars roar by,
Sounds like you need to meet up with Han Solo.
Wow, wow.
One car on pit road, Wesley. I believe Art Moline back on pit road in the 15. He's had an up and down day. As yes, he's just coming to a stop in his pit stall. He's going to go 2 laps down now.
My girlfriend just texted me and she said, "What is that sound out there? It sounds weird."
You have no idea.
I'm in my boiler room. Yes, I am. It's
How hot is
it's
it in there
officially
tonight?
Halloween, so it's time for me to become Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, how hot is it?
Y'all heard that earlier before we went live.
No, I'm not going there. Hank Gaston in second as Brian Wirtz continues to lead. Fitchner up in third. Wooley in fourth. Curry back up to fifth now in that number 25. And Wesley, he's got quite a bit of damage on the back of that number 25. So he's done a nice job recovering there in this one.
All I gotta say is that if you people heard our conversations off mic or when we're not on the air, you would just we could have a late night comedy show. Or be fired. Yes.
I'm going with both.
I'll never forget the one about pit stops and Big Bird.
Big Bird! Where's
Big
Cheney at?
Bird!
Where's Cheney at?
Yeah, Eric Cheney, where are you, bud? And the new leader, Caston, back out in front again, getting around Wirtz and Wooley. There's the 2 lizard cars. As the leader is Caston, the pole machine. Look at him flying by lap traffic, man. Just got around Moline and got around Carver like sitting ducks, not even worrying about him.
That car is so strong at the start of the run, but he really got a nice green flag run in there, Wesley, leading the most laps of that run. That 36 car is definitely now showing how much speed it's got under. Now that whatever that issue was going on at that earlier caution has worked itself out, it would appear. Hank Caston has really started to pull away as we have our second official retiree from the race. It is last week's winner and three-time winner this season and points leader, Matt Lovett, the 41. Out of the race.
And one time Matt Lovett had a strong car, was going to be a contender to possibly win this event. He led some, was going to possibly go for 4 wins on the season and 2 in a row after winning Bristol at his home race in Bristol last Monday night. However, he will be the second retiree in the event. Possibly Klinger, it might be out as well, but he's still several laps down. 9 cars are a lap down. If the caution was to come out, the 55 in 15th of Brett Edwards, the race and electronics entry, would get the free pass. But we are rocking and rolling with a long green flag run. That's, Greg's, surpassed close to almost 60 laps now, hasn't it, bud?
Yeah, it's getting up there. We are clicking them away. We're actually almost at lap 70 in this green flag run, so
that's what I figured.
Them away here.
Picking them up and putting them down. And by the way, 20 laps to 100 remaining. 120 remaining to be exact here in the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400 here at America's Home for Racing, virtually on iRacing from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Back with more in a moment. We'll go side by side so you don't miss a thing. Caston, Wirtz, Worley, Ditchner, Curry, the top 5. From Charlotte Speedway, this is LSR TV, your home for sim racing.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom t-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized, I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Back here in Charlotte, the Warriors of the No Limit Racing Pro Series closing in on the final 100 laps. Caston leading the way. Wirtz in second, Wooley third, Curry, Thinchner, your top 5. And the race continues on for this position with Caston picking up lap cars, putting them down one by one here in Charlotte as we approach under 100 laps to go, Greg.
Half a second back to Brian Wirtz's teammate. Michael Wooley not letting them get away like they did at the end of that run before the pit stop cycle. 1.3 back. Curry 3 seconds back of this as they all try to make their way through traffic before Thinchner right behind him. We're starting to see battle heat up now for the 4th spot, Wesley.
Back across the start-finish line. Another lap on the board. Here comes the machine of Front Apple up the speedway. At one time, he was one of the picks of the litter to possibly win this event. And now he sits 2 laps down as Michael Wooley will clear him the 3rd place car. There is the 55 who was on the free pass, no longer now Jorgensen's car, the 51. There you see him. If he is to go, no, my apologies, that's the 25 of Curry. But anyhow, the Jorgensen's car in 55. If we get a caution, he will get a free pass and go back on the lead lap. Basically now, Greg, there are 13 cars on the lead lap from the leader Caston down to Keys in 13th.
So 13 cars on the lead lap. That just shows you how fast Dark Horse Racing has been tonight. Not Dark Horses tonight. Those 3, Caston, Wirtz, and Wooley, have been the class of the field for the last 100 laps or so, ever since this green flag run started. Picking them up and putting them down. Those 3 have broken away from the rest of the field.
No, 110 remaining. The leaders back across the line. Here we go again. But I'll tell you what, this long green flag pit stop as well, Greg, it definitely split everybody around the track too. That's Mock. He's in the top 12, and he's Laudison 29 seconds back to the leader in 10th and 11th and 12th, right there on the racetrack.
Yeah, just separating it out more and more and more. Evan Keys about to go a lap down as he's up at the tail end of this, or the front of this group right now of lap traffic between himself and race leader Hank Caston. Just one car right now separating Keys from Caston, and that car just moved out of the way. So now, next up to go a lap down will be Evan Keys in the number 46, and Isaac Mock right in front of him.
That'll be the top 12, 13th and 12th, but now we have 11 cars on the lead lap if that does happen. As Caston has got a strong race car, the man in the number 36 machine. Leading the way. The man has started on the pole. A free agent, a part of no team. And the dog named Hank Amazon Store, 38-year-old out of Marietta, Ohio for the Buckeye State, his 2nd season on the No Limit Racing Pro Series. Hank Caston also looking for his first win this season. 5th in the points right now, Greg.
Trying to get up there. Trying to have our 3rd winner in 3 LSR TV broadcasts of this series, Wesley. Oh, there's trouble.
Oh, hold on, guys. Hold it.
Going for a slide.
Hold it, guys. Oh, no.
Oh, we might not be out of trouble just yet. We stay green.
Boy, they are trying their best to keep this race from going under yellow flag. That's the 14 car that went for a slide there. He'll save it. That's Elrod. And then there was the other car that lost it before him.
Mock. That was Mock the 95.
It was. Let's take a look at the swag instant replay in what could have been a caution flag as we are approaching 100 laps to go. Watch the 95 of Mock first.
There's the slide, comes down, and then there's Elrod. Ooh, contact from Gilchrist.
He had Gilchrist help him. Yep, he sure did.
Great job by both Mock
and we have a yellow flag. Caution is out. We got a problem on the bottom of the racetrack into 1 and 2.
Who we got?
Car number 84 putting under the yellow flag. That's Casey Knighton's car. And this will end almost a close to 80 lap green flag run. Greg Rance, yellow flag out again here as we do approach under 100 remaining.
Under caution. Just over 100 to go right now. We take a look at the replay. Ooh. Well then. Let's see your take on that one with Knighton and Aline. see if we can
Man,
take
that's a tough break.
Yeah, see if we can take another look at that because, yeah, Art Moline and Casey Knighton getting together there. Here's another look at the swag replay.
Moline, and again, our coverage presented by All-American Pools. And Moline gets in the Knighton in the 84. That tells a different story. Obviously, we were trying to show you the replay of Mock and the issue on the 14 car, which we thought was going to bring out the caution, which didn't. And by the way, this opens up pit lane. The 14, by the way, I mentioned was Jake Elrod. They saved their cars. And then Aline gets into Knighton, and that's why we're under the yellow flag. Approaching under 100 remaining, and they're all coming down pit road. Here comes the cavalry, Greg Rance.
Down pit road. Should still have another pit stop after this one, possibly two, Wesley, as we're on road here. As you see Dark Horse Motorsports rolling out. Boy, the 25 able to break him up there. Interesting there by the 25 of Curry to come down and split him up there. Hank Caston, the 36, was the leader when that caution came out. He's still on pit road. Something is going on with the 36, Wesley.
Well, whatever problem there was, he's able to pull away now, but he's going to lose a lot of ground that he had on the racetrack, lost off pit road for sure. So,
he's going to lose the race lead, and he's going to have to work his way through some heavy traffic.
Yeah. So it looks like after the pit stops have concluded, Brian Wirtz back to the lead again in the 82 machine, up 13 spots. The driver of that number 82, he's currently second in the standings. He's got one win on the season, and he sits just 14 back to Matt Lovett. And Greg, I will tell you this, with Matt Lovett out of the race, this could be a good points day for Brian Wirtz, especially if he wins this race here tonight.
It very well could be, Wesley. He has had a very strong car. Dark Horse Racing has been outstanding all day long here in this one. Now it's Brian Wirtz's turn to take some time up front as Caston's had his turn. The 82 has had some time up front. Everybody for Dark Horse Racing has had time up front. Wooley, Wirtz, Caston. Now it's Wirtz's turn once again. But Brian Curry's separating them now. And how about Anthony Fitchner? Don't count him out just yet. In the 87, he's had time up front, as had Steven Evasius in the number 12. He's led laps today.
A good run for all of these drivers. Brian Curry, we mentioned him a time or two in the race. He's now moved to the second spot. Michael Wooley back in that battle. Teammates with Brian Wirtz. 1 through 3. Anthony Fitchner also has got back in the top 5, along with Steven Evasius, the good wrench number 12. He is back again as well. So the lights will go off on the pace truck. This is lap number 180. When we come back around, we will officially be on lap number 181, and there will be 100 laps to go. Pretty interesting race so far tonight, Greg. This race, we have seen everything. It's not been boring by no means in the imagination at all.
No, it has been a fun race like you expected, and now we're in the final 100 laps when we go back green next time by.
Remember, in the event that we go past the scheduled start time of 11:10 Eastern, 11:15 with our live cameras with Justin Prince and Greg Rance for the Northwest Cup Series at Daytona. If it does go past it, we will throw an audible quickly. I will stay here with you to cover the finish. Charles Wooten will step out of the production side as well and call the race with me on color. Justin, bon voyage. You will join, or Greg, bon voyage. You will join Justin for the Northwest Cup Series event from the virtual Daytona road course. And then I'll come back and work on pit road when this race does conclude. But hopefully, my friend, we can bring this one to the finish.
Hopefully, indeed.
Here they come, the pace truck getting ready to drop onto the pit lane. They're back in the Toyota restart zone here at America's Home for Racing. Remember, the Cup boys are there for the Roval. That race is sold out, but you can watch it on TV and listen on PRN. Back to green, 100 remaining here in the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400. Wooley, Warts fighting for the lead. Here comes Stitchner trying to get around Evasius and Curry to the back straightaway.
Evasius was able to get around Stitchner in that number 12. That inside lane was really strong there, Wesley. 2 cars behind the leader were able to get a run, but look at Stitchner with the speed in that number 87, going after the Dark Horse teammates.
Boy, oh boy, they are back to the whip again, back at full speed and back on the defensive. Into 1, Wirtz. Wooley to the inside. He'll clear him back into 1. Michael Wooley back to the point. The Nvidia number 13. Meanwhile, Stitchner, oh, he goes up the trap to the top to the bottom. Throws the block, goes Wooley. Wooley couldn't close him off. Stitchner to the lead. Like taking candy from a baby. Trick or treat, lizard. He goes to the lead at 87.
What a move by Stitchner in the 87, third to first in 1 lap. That 87 car has had speed all night, showing us why now he is leading the way.
What a move. Stitchner will not be denied in that Jim Beam entry number 87. How about that? Wow.
Haters make us famous motorsports. Leading the way now with Stitchner up in front. It's been an up and down day for his teammates, Josh Mayu and Sean Lottison, but Stitchner has had a lot of speed in the 87.
And down the back straightaway they go. Man, this race has definitely picked up. They know, Greg, that this is down to the home stretch here. Under 100 remaining, 94 or 96. Now make it 95 at the line. And Stitchner, the strong car. But just like that, Wooley and Evasius are reeling him in. And Wooley goes up the racetrack. This allows Evasius and Loudison to now move to second and third. And they're going to begin to play tag. You're it with Stitchner into turn 3.
We just talked about Lottison not having the night he wanted, but he has had a very nice recovery as well. He's up in third now. The teammate to Anthony Stitchner trying to get up around Evasius.
Little contact there. Lottison was letting Evasius know he was there. Gave him a little bump to the left rear, and he kind of got him a little loose, but he holding. Respected one another there for that second. That could have been nasty, Greg.
A nice job there by everybody to stay. There's Evasius to the outside of Stitchner.
If you go to the outside, you can hold it. Can he? He's there. He's got the run. Will it work? Not yet. Not yet. Can he clear him off too? They're door to door, Greg.
For the lead, the teammates are hooked up on the inside there. As Lottison to the back bumper of Stitchner, but Evasius has the run on the outside.
And it looks like Wooley has left. Evasius hung out to dry as well. He'll hook up with Stitchner and Lottison. And now they're single file. Here comes Stitchner on the bottom. He's got the run. Boy, Evasius, such a strong car to be on himself on the outside lane. He's up in the top shelf where Grandma hides the cookies from Grandpa, up in the Angels Expressway, and he's trying everything he can to make it work. And now Wooley will be the wingman to him. They're door to door as they go into 3.
Wooley trying to get up there, make the high rent district work. As here comes Evasius, got the nose in front again. Drag race to the line. Gonna be Evasius this time.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Stitchner got him.
This series, this No Limit Racing Pro Series, since we have debuted 3 weeks ago on LSR TV, without a doubt, Greg, some of the best Cup racing we have seen. These boys, that's why they're pros. They put on a show.
This is why we agreed to cast these guys every Monday night here on LSR TV. Hopefully, we can make a deal perhaps to try to get the Thunder Series on here too and see the future of the series as we got another battle as Titchener and Evasius continue. Lap traffic getting out of the way. Nice job there by everybody to get around was that Knighton. And Greg go around Evasius with the lead again.
And Greg, I don't know if you saw that or not, bud, but man, a moment ago, Titchener's car was literally dirt tracking it, coming through the dog leg out of turn number 4. I thought he was going to have that car come right out from under him, but once again, Lottison was right there just to give him that little assist, that little bump, or help him out with, not giving him that air, so to speak, because, yeah, they're drafting. It might not be Daytona or Talladega, but you're drafting here at Charlotte. We have seen that here virtually several times tonight.
Where did Casey Clark Jr. come from? He led sometimes early in the 39 car. He's back up in the mix.
Casey Clark up 19 positions in the 39 car. Look at him come to the front. He's battling Lottison for the 3rd spot. He doesn't want to be on the podium. He wants to be the winner. And he's got a strong car, Greg, that could pull it off in the Abruzzi Raceware USA entry. He's going to try to go to the middle. Woo!
Thought about it. He didn't have to because Evasius is able to clear Titchener after about 5 laps solid of side-by-side racing. Evasius finally able to clear Titchener off of turn 2 there.
The number 12 for the Goodwrench colors. Evasius currently also in the point standings. Evasius all the way back, just looking for a win, looking to see what he can do, as Stephen Evasius is 17th in the standings, 114 back to the leader. But the driver of that number 12 went through some bad luck earlier today, Greg. Remember that the free agent out of Lubec, Maine, in the Goodwrench colors. He had to start at the back. He couldn't qualify and literally had to fight and claw his way through the field. And still, Titchener going back to the lead, getting around him again. This battle continues, and now throw Clark in the mix as they go to the back straightaway.
Clark wants this lead in the 39. Lottison, the teammate to Titchener, is now split up between them, as now Brian Wirtz and Wooley, the Dark Horse teammates, trying to hang back there right now. Kasten in the 36 is at the tail end of this group right now. He's trying to get himself back hooked up with his teammates. Jorgensen, we haven't heard much from him in that pink 51 car all night. He's up in the top 10 for the first time tonight as well. Josh Mayu, the teammates of Titchener and Lottison, were hooked up side by side for the lead right now. They're trying to get up there as we go 2 by 2 again in the top 4.
And I just want to remind you that as we move through the month of October, not only are we thinking about trick-or-treating and candy, October 31st for one day, but for the entire month of October, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Just like you see the 51 car of Jorgensen in pink, dirt, pavement, modified, street stocks, late models, you are going to see here on LSR TV a lot of cars with pink numbers as Clark shoots up the banking, making a move with Evasius. He'll be his wingman to get around Titchener on the bottom. Lottison as they come to the line.
Titchener back to the lead. Lottison trying to get around Evasius. Clark is falling in line now behind Lottison to try to go with him. Does Evasius come down? Yes, he does. He's able to cut it off. Meanwhile, Dark Horse Racing back there in 5th right now with Wirtz. Jorgensen, though, trying to split those teammates up as he's to the inside of Wooley. Lottison and Jorgensen, Mayu and Coates, I believe, are the only 4 up here who have yet to lead a lap in the top 10 right now. And Coates is way back 12 seconds out. So this 9-car break at the front, 7 of these drivers have led laps tonight.
Ready to settle it on in here as we approach lap 200. Ready for the home stretch and the final 80-lap sprint. Titchener, Lottison now the 2nd, the 24 car.
Those are teammates.
Into the 3rd spot, Evasius. 4th is Wirtz, and 5th is Clark. And again, Jorgensen, that pink car, up in the mix now, along with Wooley, Mayu, Kasten, and Coates. 3 laps to lap 200. Greg, the leader at Titchener, off 2.
his teammate Laudison right up behind him. Laudison wants to lead for the first time tonight. He may get a run here on the inside. Laudison wants to lead for the first time tonight. Not counting the lap he led by missing his pit stall. He's going to lead a lap under green for the first time tonight here, Wesley.
Laudison now to the lead. First time we've mentioned him besides leading under the caution flag. The driver out of Royal Oak, Michigan in the Exalta. Haters Make You Famous Racing entry. Number 24, the 29-year-old in his 9th season on the No Limit Racing Pro Series. He's talented. He's got that car to the whip. By the way, he's the 12th different leader of this race so far tonight.
Meanwhile, Wirtz to the inside of Evasius. Looks like the 12 of Evasius' car may be starting to go away from him. We know how much speed he had on the short run, but something may be going sour now in the 12 car. The longer this run wears on, we are inside 80 to go now.
Some of these cars that were leading earlier are out, like Cherry and Lovett. Ron Apple with problems. He was at one time out in front, so was Carver. They're in the back. We have seen a totally different storyline as we approach now. 200 complete. 80 remaining now. Now make it 79 to go. Side by side. Ready for the home stretch at Charlotte. America's home for racing. Back with more here for the No Limit Racing Pro Series on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. They're single file for now, but it's about to get crazy down the home stretch here in virtual Charlotte. The drama is building. Man, what a race it's been so far. The Barnes Paving and Trucking 400 is nearing the home stretch. The final 75 laps, if you will. On production, Charles Wooten, Greg Ransom, Wesley Outland. Round number 7 of the Northwest of the No Limit Racing Pro Series at Charlotte. Coming up next is the Northwest Racing Cup Series from the Daytona Road Course. Remember, if we go by past 11 o'clock, Greg will go bon voyage and join Justin Prince on the call for the broadcast for the Northwest Cup Series. I will come back there after this race concludes and do my pit reporter duties. And Charles Wooten will join me in the booth to call the race. And also want to give a shout out to our assistant director of Will Duvall, able to step in possibly. But hopefully that will not happen as Thitchner gets back around Wirtz and Laudison. New leader, Thitchner at 87. He wants to win. We got one up in the wall. 14 as the leaders clear him.
Elrod keeps it going, though, in that 14.
Sir.
But boy, Thitchner opens up a big lead now over Wirtz. Gained 0.3 of a second that time as Wirtz had to check up for something as Thitchner able to pull away. But Wirtz has gotten between the teammates now. What can he do to try to get a run back? How about using the draft off the lap car there to get back up there in the mix?
Around more lap traffic as well.
Who is that that's going a lap down there?
I think it's the 89 car, I believe it is.
We'll have to get a number on it for sure. Maybe the 99. 99.
The 99.
Fazio.
You see he's got pink on his car for October. For Breast Cancer Awareness Month again throughout the season for October this month, you will see a lot of LSR TV broadcasts with drivers having pink on their cars. Contact! Whoa, that's the 14. That's Elrod. DeFazio in front of him, and he tagged the 9 of Hedrick. Good save. No harm, no foul, Greg.
One more car to get by, and we're good. Everyone able to get through there. Now, Wesley, for a moment, you talked about the pink cars. How about this? The Northwest Super Late Model Tour that's coming up to LSR TV here at the start of November. It's going to be after October, but the first race at USA International, by the way, it is mandatory to have a pink car in that opening day. We always did it. We always called it the Tough Enough to Race Pink 150 to open the season off, but this year that race is going to mean something even more special to us, because if you remember a few months ago we paid tribute to him during the Northwest Cup race. We lost a huge member of our racing community here in the Northwest earlier this season, JC Wofford. That race will be in tribute to JC Wofford, who drove contact the leader around. Fitchner, we have a caution. The top two have been
trouble.
wrecked.
Fitchner and Wooley. Wirtz, I believe, just got collected. And the caution is out. We'll talk about that memorial race in a minute, Greg.
Yeah, we'll
Holy
talk
cow.
about that after we talk about this replay. Fitchner, the 87, leading the way, had the fastest car this particular green flag run, with Wirtz there in second. This is coming off turn 2. It started up here in turn number 3. See lap traffic up their head, but they go in and
just hooked the left rear. We saw that happen earlier tonight as well. And then Wooley got collected. Wirtz got collected.
Keys in it.
The 46 got in it. So did the pink car we were talking about.
Jorgensen involved. That's going to give the lead to Lottison in the 24.
And I believe Hank Caston's going to move to second.
And we are
Even Wooley's going to go back. Michael Wooley will go back to third.
And we're going pit road now.
Wow. Here is a look at it on the replay. Aerial coverage, by the way, whether blimp, chopper, or drone, presented by All American Pools. This is from the copter cam. Whoa. Just got to the left rear. We saw it happen earlier in the race, Greg, and then you never try to go to somebody's left rear in the corner.
That's just a heartbreak for both those guys. Two of the fastest cars in the second half of the race. All of a sudden, their night is done. Evan Keese caught up in that as well. But there you see pit stops, Wesley. Very busy place right now.
And the pits are closing now. The drivers are pulling off. The new leader, guess who it is? It's a Butte, Clark. It's a Butte. Casey Clark. Up 25 shots from not pitting in the 39. There you go. He did pit. He's the new man out in front. So Clark in the 39. The driver for Hauling Gas Motorsports out of Grafton, Ohio, the 22-year-old. His second season with the No Limit Pro Series. Man, I'll tell you what, Greg. You wanted intensity. You wanted to amp it up a little bit more. This will certainly spice things up a bit, in the words of Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, this is definitely going to add a wrinkle into this one. And looking at how they were when they came down pit road, Wesley, did Casey Clark take 2 tires?
I think he might have. Two tire stop on Casey Clark. He's pulling one of those Sean Brightsman gambles.
Oh, we're going to see one of those tonight. I can almost guarantee it. Actually, no, we're road course racing tonight.
Well, by the way, but Sean Brightsman dominated the truck race on Thursday night.
See if he can sweep the weekend. Speaking of Northwest, while we are under caution, chance to finish my thought. We talked about the Tough Enough to Race Pink 150 that we always do to start the season off for the Northwest Tour. But again, we lost JC Wofford this year, a huge supporter of breast cancer in honor of his aunt, who is still fighting breast cancer today. His car was painted up for breast cancer awareness when he picked up an emotional victory in the 2015 Idaho 200 with his aunt in attendance to see the breast cancer car driven by her nephew go to victory lane. So with that, we're honoring JC this season opener. We're not sure exactly what the format is going to be yet. We're still ironing out the details, but the Tough Enough to Race Pink 150 will be a tribute to JC Wofford with pink cars mandatory. At least you got to have some pink on the car for that season opener coming up at USA International, the 3/4 mile Lakeland, Florida facility. The traditional home opener of the Northwest Tour that's coming up in November right here on LSR TV. Super late models coming on Sunday nights.
Yeah, that'll be November the 8th, Sunday night, November the 8th, I believe, at 11 o'clock Eastern time. 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 Pacific. Looking forward to it. By the way, that's the Northwest Super Late Model Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products.
And you can expect roughly 65, 70 drivers entered into that trying to lock in to the 24-car main event. Can you say C main, perhaps?
I would say a D, a C, a B, and to the A. Alphabet soup pavement style written all over it. The lights are off for the pace truck as well. We're ready to come back for the restart. 213 laps are completed. Casey Clark, Hank Caston, 36 on the front row. Lottison, Wooley, row 2. Josh Mayu, row 2. Brian Curry, 25, row 3. Row 4, Stephen Evasius and Matt Jorgensen. Row 4, row 5, Anthony Fitchner, Cody Cox. Fitchner not that far back, Greg. He might have a shot. Keep your eye on the 87. Back in the Toyota restart zone out of turn 4 to the dog leg. Green back in the air. Ready to settle it here at Charlotte.
Casey Clark Jr. out to the lead. Lottison trying that inside line. We've talked about that a couple times here tonight, Wesley. But Hank Caston, who's been so strong on the short run, getting the lead into number 36 on the high side.
Back straightaway, Lottison now trying to decide whether to go to the inside, outside, top shelf, middle lane, bottom, catfishing. Where do you make your move? Caston back to the lead, the pole car, 36 to the lead. Wooley goes to second, Lottison third, and around we go. Back to turn 1 at full speed. Wooley to the inside. Caston jumped up the track. He allows Wooley to go to the bottom, and he'll carry Lottison with him. Lottison says, no way, Jose. I want the lead, and I'm on my way to the inside. Can he clear Wooley for the top spot? He couldn't get there.
So now the teammates of the two drivers caught up in that incident that brought out the last caution. Wooley, the teammate to Wirtz, and Lottison, the teammate to Fitchner, battling it out for the lead. But by the way, Anthony Fitchner is already back up to 5th, Wes. So you talked about he may not be done yet. Up
Keep it on that 87, I told you.
87. He's coming.
He's coming.
Lottison trying to get a run now all over the back bumper of Wooley.
He'll try it again.
Closing stages here, beginning to heat up. About
can we call this
to go.
Can we call this take 2 now, Greg? Here comes Lottison right back to him again.
And by the way, all your top 5 are represented
inside.
Here we go.
For the lead.
Lottison gets it back. Your top 5 are all represented by 2 teams. Your teammates are Lottison, Mayu, and Fitchner, and then Wooley and Caston. Those are your teammates up in the top 5 right now.
No disrespect, but as I said, in them driving the green and black car, like taking candy from a lizard. Lottison back to the top spot. Wooley back to second.
He pushed up the track a little bit there, Wesley. He got kind of close to the safer barrier off turn 2.
Yes, sir. Safer wall barrier, definitely been a lot of drivers' friends tonight, bouncing off the concrete and making their way back around off of turn 4. Caston, holy cow. Wow, what a shot. I thought he was going to hit the wall. Speaking of safer wall barriers off turn 4, I thought he was going to take out the Toyota restart zone. As that car just fishtailed up the banking off the front straightaway, Greg. Good save for the 36 car.
Nicely done by Caston. That allows Mayu to get up there now in the 0-2. That's the highest he's been all day. The teammate to Lottison and Fitchner, he's up now on the podium for the first time tonight.
Well, it is obvious, Greg, that this race will not finish at the scheduled distance. It's right now we're at 60 remaining, 59 to go. So I guess you hang with me till about 10:50. So then you can start prepping and preparing to get everything ready for you in the Northwest Cup Series at Daytona. And then Charles will join me for the finish of this race, which has been a wild one. Always a pleasure working with you, my friend.
Always a pleasure, Wesley. As we continue on here, we're trying to get this thing done in time to where we can all be here for at least the end. Even if we do make it to the end, I'm going to hop out for post-race and head down to the virtual Daytona International Speedway to get ready for road course racing while you guys wrap it up here at Charlotte with this incredible race that I'm kind of bummed that I'm hoping I get to stick around for at least the finish of. Whoa, we got trouble.
Whoa, contact. Woo. No caution.
Done.
No caution. No caution. What a save on the 25.
That was incredible by Brian Curry. Can we please, Mr. Producer, get a swag replay of that one, because that was awesome.
Could we call that the save of the night? Watch this.
We're going to call that the Shark Save of the Night moving forward. I think we need a new little graphic for that, because that was awesome. Watch the 25 of Curry. That's the 17.
Josh Klinger
inside there. He gets a big run. He gets caught behind Evan Keese, and there's the slide. Look out. Hello, Cody Cox. Great save by Curry.
And that again was your Shark Save of the Night, presented by Swag E-Wraps and Graphics. Let the Sharks of Billy and Rhonda Smith take care of all of your wrap and detailing needs, whether it's with banners, vehicles, emergency vehicles, business, professional, race cars, or even in the virtual e-racing world as well. Don't forget also about the Simulation World Auto Group. They got new series coming up on Tuesday and Thursday night. The E300 will return in 2021, and details coming also in January on the $12,000 purse Short Track Nationals. Swag Wraps on Facebook for more information, and of course also Swag Simulation World Auto Group.
Cannot wait for more details on that, Wesley. Can tell you it will be 2 races, 1 dirt, 1 asphalt. We're waiting to hear the announcement on the track and the car, but I cannot wait, because if you guys remember, the E300 at Martinsville put on a heck of a show, and we saw, you call him the Dominator, I call him the Terminator. Garrett Maines did it again in that race. He has just been so dominant here on LSR TV. Could we perhaps see him again in that one coming up in January?
And Greg, I do know that in 2021 he will be on the eNASCAR and the Road to Pro series. He's definitely earned his right to go to that level.
Well, hopefully we get to see him more on LSR TV. Maybe we can get him in some of these new swag series that are coming up here. And maybe even on Friday nights in the, what is it on
Fall
Fridays?
Brawl?
The Fall Brawl?
On the Rails Fall Brawl.
Yeah, see if we can get Garrett Maines in there too. I mean, see what he can do against all these other guys here. He's probably one of the top dogs on iRacing. Parker Retzlaff was in that race too, and he unfortunately had that incident in the middle of the race, but he's another one that you just have to keep an eye on every time he's in that race. Let's see if we can get maybe Retzlaff in some of these races also moving forward.
Back to turn number 1 and 2. And there you see Klinger in the 17 car. Josh Klinger 9 laps down, racing amongst lead pack drivers, with Kasten in front of him, as well as the 82 of Wirtz, No, that's Wooley. My apologies. Wooley in the 13 and Wirtz in the 82. Those cars look exactly the same, Greg.
Wirtz trying to get back up there. Remember, he was in second when that happened with Fitchner, and he is doing a nice job hanging back there, but unfortunately he is a lap down and still out of the lead lap. So Wirtz trying to get back up there. Wooley in the identical car to him up in fourth right now as Caston's gotten back around him, trying to reel in the teammates now, Lottison and Mayer.
$50 to go. And the leaders are still trying to run down Lottison, who has been silent. He's been up there, Greg, but he's been silent as far as being a leader. And now that car has checked out. The DuPont number 24. Lottison. Let's give you some stats on him. 29 years old from Royal Oak, Michigan, the Exalta DuPont entry, his 9th season in the No Limit Racing Pro Series for Haters Make You Famous Racing. And Sean Lottison in the point standings, currently sitting all the way back in 18th behind Stephen Evasius, 123 back. But again, a win puts you in the playoffs, Greg. If you win, you go to the playoffs.
Trying to lock into the playoffs, and we are guaranteed a new winner this season because Lovett and Cherry both out of the race right now, so they're all trying to lock in their first win of the season. And by the way, the gap is shrinking. Lottison at one point about 7 or 8 laps ago had a 3-second lead. It's down to 1.3 now over Mayo and Caston, so that lead is shrinking.
So here's the thing. Matt Lovett, again the points leader, possibly might lose that to Brian Wirtz in 82. But Brian got caught up in a wreck as well. He's currently 15th. But a much better day, though, for the points leader of Matt Lovett, who is out of the race. 3 wins for Matt Lovett. Okay, 1 win for Brian Wirtz. 1 win for Matt Cherry, the first race we covered here on LSR TV for Talladega. And then also Dalton Tucker has won a race on the series. He sits 30th in the standings, but with those wins, you transfer in to the playoffs. Right now, we know of 4 drivers, Greg, that are going to go to the playoffs postseason in a couple of weeks. That championship will be decided in January of 2021. And Lottison trying to join that fraternity. Under 50 laps to go.
Trying to get our fifth driver, excuse me, into the playoffs here tonight. Looking pretty solid for that. It's going to take a miracle in order for the 82 of Wirtz to get himself back up there right now, as he's still a lap down, 13th position. In trouble of going 2 laps down is that number 82. So work to be done with Wirtz if he wants to get up there. It's looking like we're going to see a first-time winner here tonight.
Caston, though, boy, I'll tell you what, the man's been strong all night long. Gotta wonder how much damage was on his car after he got into that accident with Wirtz. But again, him and I'm sorry, that was Stitchner. My apologies there. Caston's been in some bump and banging matches all night. Josh Mayu, first time we mentioned him in the top 3. He's been in the top 5, top 10. Lying in the weeds, if you will, there, Greg, playing possum. And now it's time to strike. Sitting in 3rd.
Lottison leads, but Caston is there. He has gotten around Mayu, but he has brought Mayu with him, though. So now he's separating the teammates while his teammate, Michael Wooley, tries to reel him in. Here comes Caston, the pole sitter again.
And the outside has so impressively worked several times tonight with other cars. To the outside, down to the inside. Mayu is there. He'll throw the block. You can't block them both. Where do you go? Lottison bangs the left, the right front. Caston's car. They're still going to stay there for the lead. He's to the left rear. Caston looking to the bottom of Lottison. He couldn't get there. Single file back across the stripe.
You couldn't fit a piece of paper between them there through turn 4 that time, Wesley. Nice job by everybody to get through that.
And by the way, 40 laps to go this time by when they cross the start-finish line. If you are a fan of the Northwest Cup Series, we will have that broadcast ready to go as scheduled. It's looking like Greg is going to have to say bon voyage and go join again Justin Prince to prepare for that broadcast. Charles Wooten in their contact in the grass. Are you kidding me? In the grass. Like the pass in the grass between Earnhardt and Elliott. We saw it in iRacing, baby. Holy cow. Gaston to the lead.
That was words.
Oh, my
the teammates of Gaston just helped him out. Oh, my
wow.
goodness.
The pass in the grass.
Oh,
trouble.
Not
he turned him.
Here we go.
Trouble. Loudison in the wall. Wooley involved. Caution is out.
Swag replay.
Don't leave just yet, Greg. Don't leave just yet.
Yeah, let's start it back here because this started right here. Gaston and Laudison for the lead. Bump. That's Words, the 82. Comes up, makes the save. Just like Dale Earnhardt, made the save, pass in the grass. The teammates there behind him. And then Laudison gets a run. Here comes Wooley behind him. And then, yeah. Wooley gets caught up in it.
Have you ever, Greg Ritz?
No,
wow.
I never.
Drove you. Watch this. I wonder if we've ever seen anything like this before. Shades of 88. Earnhardt, Elliott, pass in the grass. Wow. I gotta wonder if maybe he might have
been
come back after him.
That.
Wow. I don't know.
Maybe
like a racing deal.
Unfortunately, the only one you knows for sure is in the cockpit of that number 24, and I don't think he's very happy right now.
John Laudison all tore up, and cars are on the pit lane. Greg, I'm glad you didn't leave just yet. Holy cow, that was history.
Whew, that was wow.
I hope that that Charles takes this like what he did with our cheesecake soundbite a couple of weeks ago. I hope he takes this one and puts it out there as an iRacing version of Pass in the Grass. Because Greg,
awesome.
As long as I've ever announced esports, even in my second tenure, I have never seen that before.
That was incredible.
Wow. We got to take a break. I got to quit sounding like Minnie Mouse. Back with more in a moment from Charlotte. Ready to settle this in 37 to go here tonight. Hitting the Barnes Pavement and Trucking 400. Man, that's why we're your home for sim racing. LSR TV.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
boy, it is getting intense here at Charlotte. Welcome back to the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400 on your home for sim racing, LSR TV. I am Wesley Outland, and now joining us in the booth is the backup announcer, Charles Wooten.
Yes, I'm on the wireless mic. I'm still heading up to the actual booth. It's a long trip, and us healthy eaters, we have a hard time getting up these steps sometimes.
And he's also in production. So you're actually in the production truck, but you're calling the race with me in real time, right?
Yes,
so that's what
we're doing. We're remotely controlling the production while wirelessly miking it in the announcer's booth here for the last 35 laps when we take the green flag.
I think it's going to get good, Greg. By the way,
I'm like Greg. I'm Charles.
Yeah, I know, Greg, but me and Charles, what me and Greg saw before this last caution, have you ever seen anything like that in iRacing before?
I've been doing this for 3 years now, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
And was it not just like the 88 pass on the grass between Earnhardt and Elliott in the All-Star race? 85, I think it might have been.
I believe so it was very similar to that, and I remember vaguely seeing it. See, I'm a youngster. I was born in 80. So
87. The pass on the grass was in 87.
Yeah, see, that was not before my time, but it was right at my time, I guess you could say.
And of course, you're not a big fan of NASCAR, so you don't know about the history. Anyhow, we're back to the green flag, ready for the shootout in this final 35-lap sprint. Cox now the new leader. Cody Cox in 54. Greg, me and Greg called this race earlier, Charles. You remember, he got caught up in a wreck at the beginning of things.
Yeah, and as I noticed while we were under caution there, Cox was having a little bit of connection issue, and it looks like he's got that sorted out, but he's going to quickly get passed by Caston. And I sit here and listen to y'all talk about this race, and Caston has been super fast all race long, but I'm not counting out Josh Mayhew. He's been quick too. He just hasn't really been talked about as much.
That's right, but his time might be now. He's on the outside looking to get around Caston for the lead. Josh Mayhew on the outside lane. Caston on the bottom. Side by side as they roar through the Toyota restart box to the start-finish line. Under 35 remaining here at Charlotte. The No Limit Racing Pro Series coming to the home stretch. And even bringing a backup announcer to boot.
Yeah, I have to say, this is probably one of the best Charlotte races I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Here, period. We were glad when we took this series on. They had Pro in the name, and, I won't lie. I saw Pro. They call themselves Pro. They've lived up to that name and then some. And I believe the word you use is to boot.
Yes, sir. Back to turn number one, Caston on the inside. Here comes Mayhew back on the top. He'll go to the lead. 13th different driver to lead here tonight is Charlotte there, Charles. It is Josh Mayhew in the 0-2 with under 30 laps to go. He's in P1.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, Wesley, but I may be a little biased here to Michael Wooley in the number 13 machine. Maybe rooting for him a little bit just because he's got that NVIDIA car. And if you look very closely, I don't know, let's see if we can go on board and see that. You see it right there on the hood. It says RTX on. That is the new graphics cards, RTX. I personally have 2 of them in my computer myself. And, you see the wonderful graphics that the fans see out there? Well, that's why we got RTX on.
And by the way, Wooley right now is saying, here, lizard, 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 reeling in Mayhew.
Yes, he definitely is, and he is right on his back bumper right now. Mayhew, again, we said he was fast, but then we're 13. Wooley's fast. Coates up there as well. Caston, I've noticed this since we started covering this race today. Caston, he really gets off good off the start, falls back, and then he'll come back here in the next 10 laps or so.
And by the way, Halloween around the corner. That's exactly what Josh Mayhew's car looks like. The pumpkin. The great pumpkin trying to have the lizard run him down. Josh Mayhew and Wooley. Coates. How about Coates, Charles? He had a wreck earlier tonight. Stayed out of trouble. He actually got crossed over the side of Matt Lovett's car. Matt's out of the race. This guy is in 3rd place.
Yeah, it
And
definitely
now battle
is.
for the lead with Wooley on the inside again.
Yeah, those two are getting after it. Now, I saw just now there were about 6 cars up here at the front. Don't let that fool you. That is not all the cars. There are currently 20 cars on the track. But this front group of about 8 has pulled away from that main group. So you really have the front runners, and then you have the rest of the field here tonight. And even the front runners are starting to separate themselves just a little bit.
What a show they put on. We hope you've enjoyed
Oh,
it.
contact for the lead again.
Wooley into Mayu. Mayu's up in the fence. Up into the safer wall barrier in the corner. He'll lose all that ground and fall back to at least 6th. How damaged is the O2?
It don't look bad, but again, you know, it is going to be a lot worse than we think it is. And Wesley, that is the 3rd time tonight now here in the closing laps that we have had contact at the front of the race. That is rare. You hardly ever see the leaders getting into each other.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And again, as this race comes to an end, here comes the leaders now moving by more lap traffic and a lot faster catching up to this lap traffic than before. 25 laps to go next time by.
And, you know, I'll have to go back and refresh myself, Wesley, but a little while ago, Casey Gilchrist, wasn't that 26 involved in a very, very early caution? And now look at him sitting in 4th place,
And by the
almost
way,
podium.
Gilchrist was 2 laps down, Charles, and now he's back in 4th on the lead lap.
Yeah, it goes to show you that persistence and, you know, hanging out there. Just don't give up. You know, hang out there. He did just that.
Charles, the 87 too. Thitchner.
Yeah, Thitchner
Look
as
at
well.
him. He's back in 5th.
Yeah, he said, hold my Jim Beam. I'm going back to the front.
Battling earlier with that driver of Brian Wirtz for the lead. They got turned in the left rear, bringing out a caution. He has fought and clawed his way back into the top 5. And Mayu right behind him in 6th. And honestly, suffice to say, Charles, we're at the home stretch. There's still 20-plus laps remaining. 23 to be exact. There's still time left to do something here.
Yeah, 23 to go right. There's
Now.
across the line. 23 laps to go. And we don't have it on the overlays just yet. We do have it on the back end for myself. We have 23 laps to go and 41 minutes left in the session before time would run out. You know, we're borderline getting close to that time. I don't think we'll run out, but, you know, we've seen it here. We went, 185, I believe it was, laps caution-free, and then we started seeing the cautions. My question for you, Wesley, is with the closing laps here, do cautions breed more cautions?
Oh, I think so, brother. Oh, this has just amped it up. It's going to get a lot more hectic, and I believe with these lap cars that do not get out of the way, for those that do get out of the way, like the 54 car just did of Cox, which, by the way, puts 8 cars now on the lead lap. You know, that's all fine and dandy and gravy. But for these other cars, they're going to be defensive and say, no, you're not going to lap me. I'm going to fight like Curry did in 25. Coming up, who he at one time was at the front leading the race or within contention. Katie bar the door. Caston doesn't need lap traffic. He's going to use him on the inside. Wooley for the lead and carry Alec Coates with him. Single file. Thitchner is closing in on them as well, saying, here, kitty, kitty, Charles, as they go to 3.
He is indeed. Again, like I said, he said, oh, that Jim Beam, I'm going to the front. He did just that. He's on his way. I noticed, too, that Cody Cox, who, remember, was our leader at the restart.
20 to go.
He is now in the pits here with 20 laps to go.
20 to go. And Thitchner, Charles, he has a strong enough car that he doesn't need anybody. Pardon my pun here. He doesn't need to go side by side. He doesn't need to bounce off any cars to draft with. That car has been so fast tonight, that 87. He can drive on his own. He can go to the bottom. He can go to the top and clear these cars. We've seen it several times tonight when he'd go to the Toyota restart zone on the restarts and he would just sail away from the field.
Yeah, and you see here from looking at the back of his car, it is slightly damaged as we got car possibly spinning, maybe connection issue there, as I don't see any spinning, just smoke. You would know a little bit more about the kind of aero of these cars. The front looks good, the back not so much. How much is that going to affect his speed?
Well, obviously, with damage on the rear, you got to realize you're going forward. So the only thing that's going to really affect him more if he had damage on the front end of the car. If he's got a little damage on the rear end of the car, it's not going to be that bad. Not that bad. The only time it might become an issue for him is if he gets in a draft and they cut the air off on him and his car fishtales and he spins. If he had damage on the front end there, Charles, he would not be able to do what he's doing right now.
Yeah, and that's a good thing for him that he doesn't then, as this battle is heating up for, that is the lead.
17 to go. Caston on the inside, looking for the lead.
It's just like we were talking about. He started out strong, he fades, and then he gets a second win, and he comes back.
Wooley.
Wooley's not having any of that. He said, nope. Oh, well, he will if he doesn't...
Wow. And remember, we're seeing a little internet issue there. We call it netcode virtually. The rule is in the No Limit Racing Series, Charles, you have 2 laps from the point that you start having connection issues to get it fixed. If not, the iRacing No Limit Racing officials will boot you from the server.
Yeah, and he just kind of relinquished first place. It makes you wonder if he gave that spot up so he could try, instead of holding off first or second place, he could drop to second, try to get that sorted out, probably yell down the hall to his mom to get off the internet or something. But for whatever reason, he did just kind of give that spot away, and now it looks to be sorted out. So maybe if he's battling too close together, that's when that connection issue happens, and it's sorted out here for the moment. But that battle is not over, I don't think, here with 15 to go, 14 coming to the line.
Hey, Ethel, get off a snapshot giving late night selfies.
There you go.
Back across the line with 14 remaining.
We'll definitely have to talk to him and see if Ethel was sending out Snapchats. But Gaston out front again, slides back and it comes back strong here.
By the way, got some information being brought down by the No Limit Racing Series. The number 15 car disqualified from the race. Number 15, Moline, disqualified for causing 3 cautions. The 82 car of Brian Wirtz, disqualified for blocking the leader, intentionally wrecking. I wonder if that was when that incident happened between him and Wooley.
It definitely had to be. He slid up right in front of the leader and was blocking him. So that definitely would have been the call.
Was it Fitchner? That was the incident with Fitchner, I believe.
Yes, I believe that is correct. So it goes to show you, good admins, and I like this admin. He actually they relay this stuff to us, and that's good. We need that information so we can talk about it. But
it's just like when you watch a NASCAR broadcast. If there's a penalty handed down, the NASCAR officials, the directors, let the broadcast crew for TV and radio know this is what happened. This is what they're getting busted for. This is what the penalty is.
Yeah, it is great to have. And, some of those penalties are obvious ones that we don't have here on iRacing, which is a little bit of a shame. But, hey, in the grand scheme of things, we're getting started. We're getting there. If you carry the fuel tank out early or something like that, we don't have that on iRacing. But it has been seen
talking
many
about
times.
The gas can, not the fuel tank. You better carry the fuel tank on the car.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The gas can.
10 remaining. 10 to go. This time by. Don't forget, coming up next, beginning in about 4 minutes time, we'll be live on LSR TV for not only the finish of this race, with now 10 remaining in Charlotte virtually, the Daytona Beach Road Course and the Northwest Racing Cup Series round number 24. Coverage beginning again in about 10 minutes from right now on LSR TV. Justin Prince, Greg Renson, I will join them. I'm the hell with grabbing a what do you call it? A red flight, one of those planes. I'm gonna hop in a space shuttle real quickly,
Yeah.
Greg, and virtually rocket my way from Charlotte to Daytona.
I don't know whether to be happy or upset you keep calling me Greg. He's a better announcer, so I guess I'll be happy with that one.
I'm so used to working with Greg. Charles, it's been a while since you called a race, man. It really has. I think the last time we called a race together was a month ago with the LSR TV Stadium Super Trucks.
Yeah, it's been quite some time. By the way, as we have, 9 laps to go, coming up on 8. If you haven't watched the Stadium Trucks and you like the way Wesley sounds, go listen to that because you're going to hear Mickey Mouse in those. He was so excited. He had never seen him before, at least on iRacing.
I don't say Mickey. It's not, hi, little buddy. It's Minnie. It's Minnie Mouse.
Oh, Minnie Mouse. There you go. Either way, you definitely want to go check those out. But right now,
how about Caston? This race coming to an end, bud. It's his to win.
Yeah, he's got 8/10, almost 9/10 second lead over Wooley right now. It really is his race to lose. If he makes a mistake, and it's going to have to be a pretty big mistake, as he's almost a second now ahead, in order for him not to win this race. So, cross your fingers, cross your eyes, whatever you got to cross. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But he has got a sizable lead over Wooley, but Wooley can still see him looking out the front of his car.
And by the way, he started this race on the pole, fast qualifier there in that car number 36 entry. While it comes down to the line, 6 remaining here at Charlotte as he comes through the dog leg. Caston out in front. Wooley is in sight, but he's still over a second back. Coates is back to third. Thitchner fourth, over 5 seconds back. Gilchrist, I think he will be happy with the top 5 of that 26 car. Mired with the problems he had earlier in this race to finish 5th. That's a good run. Mayu again bouncing off the wall, fighting for the lead with Wooley. He falls back to 6th, 8 seconds back, and then you got 19 seconds back to the 25 of Curry. 7 cars, Charles, on the lead lap as they come to the open hand from your flagman. 5 to go at Charlotte.
Yeah, and the last thing I think that Caston wants to see right now is a caution. If a caution comes out here and we go into green, white, checkered territory in overtime, which we would, anything less than 5 to go goes into overtime here on iRacing, except for super speedways. That is the last thing he wants to see, because I honestly think a caution may cost him the win, because he has not been good on the restarts. He falls back on lap 1 or 2, and which would be the green and the white, and then by the time we needed to go to the checkered, he would have probably fallen back a spot or 2. So that's the last thing he wants to see.
3.5 laps remain now for the driver of Hank Caston, working his way out of turn number 4, the 36. Coming back to the start-finish line. Across the start-finish line now. 3 to go. Caston ready to bring this one to a midnight snack, if you will. Just about an hour shy of it. Caston, Wooley, Coates, Thitchner, Mayu, top 5, and he is still the man out in front.
And again, we hope everybody stays tuned with us. Don't go nowhere. We're still here. But right about now, Wesley, is the go time for pre-roll anyway for the Northwest Cup Series. So if you're not done with racing here, as we have now 2 laps to go in this one, right after the post-race show, just go back to the channel. There's going to be another race going on.
And I promise, because I have to prep and prepare also for the Daytona Road Course. Thank goodness I started doing a little bit this afternoon. We will have a very quick Clan War Servers post-race wrap-up, so we do not keep that race losing viewers by continuing to have this one. But we wanted this one to come to the finish, and it's about to happen right now. Hank Caston, the pole car, comes across the line. The swag, 1 to go. Caston one more time looking for a win in the series of the No Limit Racing at Charlotte. Final time around, Charles, in the back straightaway.
Yeah, it's like 1 lap to go again. I believe y'all said earlier, this is his first win on the season. We have a new winner here tonight. Looking forward to taking a chat with him. Of course, we'll make it a very short chat as we want to get over to the next race. We don't want to keep those viewers from theirs, and that'll do it. He will pick up the win with a 2.1 second gap. That is a sizable gap.
Hank Caston winning here. Another first-time winner this season on the No Limit Racing Pro Series. Hank Caston, 5th in the standings. That'll help him move up the ladder. His 3rd top 5, his 5th top 10, his first win. And by the way, he was the pole car earlier tonight. The driver of the number 36 machine. What a job for the man in the 36 car. He's a free agent out of Marietta, Ohio. The dog named Hank Amazon store entry. Give it up to Hank Gaston. What a job. Michael Wooley, Alec Coates, the top 3. Real quickly, Charles, let's take a look at the unofficial results. Again, we're going to make this quick. Look at this real fast. Hank Caston, again, your winner. 2.2 seconds back to Michael Wooley. Alec Coates is 3rd. Anthony Fitchner, after his hiccup, comes back to 4th. Josh Mayhew, after bouncing off the wall late, finishes in 5th. Gilchrist with problems coming back 6th. Curry, last car on the lead lap. From 8th on back, they're a lap down, more or out, including Hedrick, Fluman, and Edwards. Charles.
Yeah, back there, 11th through 20th, going to be Jorgensen, Mock, Carver, Elrod, Clark Jr., Front Apple, not having the night he wanted. Jorgen, Defonso, Keys, and Klinger going to be your top 20.
And there comes the rest of the rundown of an almost 30-car field, including Cody Cox, Sean Lottison, Avasius, Knight and Lovett, Cherry, Wiley, Dipple, Wirtz, and again, Moline. They have been disqualified, by the way. The 82 of Brian Wirtz and the 15 of Moline disqualified by the No Limit Racing officials. And by the way, Trent Barnes and Kyle Ramsey were the officials that were enforcing the race. That was the word I was looking for. Quick break from Charlotte. When we come back, a quick Clan Wars Servers post-race wrap-up. We'll talk to Hank Caston, Wooley, and more in a moment from Charlotte. Gamers hosting gamers worldwide, it is time for the Clan Wars Servers post-race wrap-up here for the No Limit Racing Pro Series wrap-up at Charlotte for the Barnes Paving and Trucking 400. Remember, as always, Clan Wars Servers is the official communications partner of Live Sim Racing. Hank Caston, we'll talk to him in a moment. Down the podium we go from 3, 2, 1 to the countdown. Alec Coates in the number 10. Alec, 3rd place. Redeeming yourself after problems early. Talk about the run.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting one. I knew I had a pretty good car, pretty fast car. I felt pretty comfortable early. So, yeah, ran into a few things there, but we battled back, and I'm happy with the result. It's my best pro finish to date. So, got to give a shout out to the Replacements Racing League, league that I run, and then ZAS Design and Photography for my schemes every week. For October, we did a little breast cancer thing, and I'll be running it for the rest of this month. So, and shout out to Brandon, obviously, too. Runs a great league here. So, look forward to moving on.
Definitely a great race, buddy. Thank you so much. I'd love to talk to you longer, but we got to wrap things up fast here. Alec Coach in the number 10 machine. He'll finish third. Michael Wooley in the number 13. The runner-up, Michael. Here, Lizard, you come so close to trying to pick up a win here tonight for Team NVIDIA.
Well, I definitely tried to pick up the win for DHR and NVIDIA and Signature Esports, but Hank was whining all race long about wanting a trophy, so I let him win. And I want to thank NLR for putting this on. It was a great race. We definitely tried to put a show on when me and Hank were up front.
It certainly was a good run. Again, Hank Caston, picking up the victory. Michael, I know you're a big fan of mine. Thank you, buddy. Awesome job tonight. And I will tell you off the record, Charles, our producer, was kind of rooting for you there at the end.
I really appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks, Wesley.
Michael Wooley, yes, sir. Runner-up here in the number 13 machine. And finally, to wrap it up here from Charlotte, the winner, another first-time winner on the series. A good points day in the number 36 machine from the pole. Hank Caston. Hank, congratulations, sir. Great job.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped, dude. I'm excited. This is the first one I've ever gotten in the NLR, and I really am looking forward to that trophy to hang on my banister. But a 2-second win over Wooley, I don't think he let me have anything. I think kind of just blew his doors off. And he really
I love the trash talking amongst you guys.
I was lifting the whole time.
Hey, man, I would like to thank Brandon, of course, for putting this on. He does a great job for the league. I know he's got a bunch of sponsors out there. I was looking on my phone so I could give him a shout out. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any, so I apologize about that. But I want to thank you guys for coming aboard and broadcasting us. And as always, man, get on Amazon and get one of those dog toys from a dog named Hank.
A dog named Hank. Hank Caston picking up the win. Next week, it's on to Dover. From Charlotte to Miles the Munster. We'll see what Miles will be able to chop up with the field in the next round of round number 8 for the the No Limit Racing Pro Series. Again, next Monday night. Hey, coming up next, like literally, right whenever we log off, we go from Charlotte to Daytona. Justin Rentz, Greg Prince, they're already there right now, and we'll prepare for that event as well. Congratulations to Hank Caston. The Northwest Cup Series coming up next from Daytona Road Course from Charlotte. Congratulations, Hank Caston, the winner, for, of course, Charles Wooten as producer, backup announcer, as well as Greg Rentz. I'm Wesley Outland. Charles, real quickly, you want to say anything before we say bye-bye? I was trying to end things quickly, but it was fun working with you again, at least the last 30 laps.
Well, I never get to say this because I'm always behind the mic, so I'm just going to say hi to Aunt Kathy, and we'll leave it at that.
There you go. Hi, Aunt Kathy. And again, she's probably getting ready for the Northwest Cup Series event. That's right now. That's why we're your home for sim racing, LSR TV. God bless you all. We'll see you for No Limit Racing next Monday night from Dover Downs.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.